Dale NotDale Podcast.
All right, Vaughn. We're back for a new installment of the Dale NotDale Podcast.
We are. It's pretty exciting.
What's been going on, man?
It's been busy. Just glad to sit here and glad to say we're back.
Sneak attack.
Every time. They call me the Batman of back.
The back man.
The back man.
Dude, it's been crazy busy for me at work, too.
He ain't lying.
I'm not used to this.
Why is it that you and I have gotten really busy at work at the same time and we do totally different things?
Sign of the economy, babe.
Do you ever get stressed? Do you ever have stress?
Not really.
I guess I don't know really what stress is, but I feel like the last couple of weeks I've been stressed because I know what anxiety is, but I don't really know what stress feels like.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, I'm very organized, but I seem like in the last 2 weeks I just cannot get organized.
Really? I'm never organized with anything, so that's just how I live my life.
I mean, I'm like off the wall crazy from 8 to 5.
Really?
People call me and I've got that auto reply, sorry on the other line, call you back shortly.
Yeah.
And then I never call them back.
I do.
I forget.
I hate missing phone calls.
I do too.
Or text.
I hate it too. You know what else I hate? Hot water heaters.
Dude, you know what's funny? You told me that yesterday. Today, I go to I got home from the gym, talked to Crystal. I go start my shower, go use the restroom, go to get my shower. It's cold. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I turned the water off. I went to Crystal. I'm like, did you pay the freaking gas bill? I was like, I don't know what. She's like, I paid the bill. I'm like, okay. I was like, what the heck? So I went, turned on the gas at the stove. I walked outside, looked at my tankless water heater like I know what I'm doing. I just looked at it, and I turned around, came back in, turned my shower on. It worked.
Yeah, it's because you looked at it.
Why would that do that? Because Crystal said the same. She just texted me. She goes, hey, my shower didn't get hot either, but the kids is. Water not have to be strained, but it's fine for the kids.
Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know.
But then I turned it off and went back, and it was hot.
Can't be a pilot. I don't know. There might be a recirculation tank in there. Like when you turn it on and it's hot, is it instantly hot?
Yeah. But no, it takes a little bit.
Oh, I don't know. That's weird. It shouldn't be like that.
I know. It got back hot, she said. Just text me.
I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. But I picked on you, and then it happened to me. It's called karma.
Yeah, that's true. I just, I don't know. I don't even want to go into my whole spiel that I gave you the other night, but I think it's...
he really ranted to me in a text.
Well, it was just something I was thinking about of... I don't have a tankless water heater.
I do.
And people are like, well, yeah, I don't have a problem. There's 3 people in my family. We got to wait. And if we all take a shower at one time or whatever, somebody's going to get the short end of the stick.
Choose you.
I just want somebody to say, you know what, Vaughn, do you want to have a hot shower? I don't feel like I need, compromise and being considerate is free. Tankless water heater is not.
Well, I'll have a talk with Lindsay after this.
Yes, please.
So let's talk about today, man.
Let's do it.
We're going to have a fun episode. 1, it's always fun we have somebody in studio.
Yeah.
2, we got a guy that's really funny. We recently met. We went and saw him at the live Improv Houston, Sean Dolan.
Yep.
And so this is going to be a fun one.
He's got great hair, too.
He does have great hair. I was kind of pissed. I'm like, damn it, that guy's got great hair.
Your volume's down today?
Well, I didn't want to upstage my guest.
Yeah,
I got volume for days, boys.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have a volume off with him.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. Me and him recently, maybe 2 months ago, so we connected on social media. We've been talking, and then me and you went and saw his show live, which was fun. Got to see him in action. So he's kindly enough to drive down to League City from Katy to
that's a trip.
Jump on the podcast.
That is a trip. He came in at like a traffic time too.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, 45 minutes will turn into an hour. 45 minutes for you.
Well, we drove in traffic time to Katy. We were just going the opposite way.
Yeah, we got stuck in traffic too. Yeah, I guess so.
So, we're excited to have him on today.
Yep.
This will be a good one. And so I can imagine with having a comedian, we'll have some good content.
And he's going to talk about the story.
The real master will be dicing them up.
Oh, yeah.
Magnus.
Magnus will hit him with the real master.
Yep. Mr. Shorterson. Yeah, I mean, we're going to hear about he's got a couple stories that's really taken off online that he's going to tell today. For sure. And then we got to get some backstory on there. Like, what's the follow up from there? Like, what happened past that? And
how can we continue it? How can we help him continue what he was doing?
Like, let's keep going with this.
Yeah, don't stop now. You done did it.
Like, you got to go full Richard Petty on this.
Full Richard Petty?
He's being petty.
Oh, okay. Richard Petty. I thought you were talking about the car racer.
No.
Oh. Or is that Kyle Petty? I don't know.
Tom Petty.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Tom Petty and Dale Earnhardt, yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm excited about him. He's a good dude. We didn't get a chance to talk to him whenever we went to the show too much.
It was
so busy.
It was crazy. It was busy.
We had to sign a lot of autographs. And,
yeah, dude. You know, we go out in public, it's just nonstop.
Yeah.
Y'all from the podcast? Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Let me sign those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put your shirt on, Magnus. So
sign these things. Hey, right. Dude, put your shirt on.
Well, let's get him in here and get the show started.
Let's do it.
Uncle Dale and Vaughn with stories to unfold. So sit back, relax, and behold. We discussing life and all its ups and downs. Tune in from your side of town. Talking pop cultures, movies, and TV shows. Giving the thoughts and much more. This shit is style, clothes, and gadgets galore. Keeping you entertained, you'll be begging for more. Cause we gon' laugh and hey, maybe even crying. But one thing's for sure, you'll be smiling. Cause Uncle Dale and Vaughn are at your side. So come along.
All right, we're live.
Did you almost pause there?
As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, we have a special guest in today, Mr. Sean Dolan, right?
That's right. Dolan.
Just
one
Dolan.
D.
You can put a D at the end if you want, though.
It's
Yeah.
Dolan.
Dolan. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you always can add the D in there.
Sure.
This is Dale Mild.
Dale Mill.
Von Schuld.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So real quick, I mean, I'll let you introduce yourself here in a minute, but I found Sean on an Instagram reel, and it came up. I don't know if somebody shared it to me or not. And so you're a comedian, and so I seen one of your stand-ups, a clip, and like from there I started following you, and then I was cracking. I was sending it to other friends because it was such an insane story. So then I started following you, and then I messaged you, and then we went back and forth. You kind of told me about the story, so I was like, man, we got to get you on.
Appreciate it.
So,
happy to be here.
Fast forward, we've already seen you live,
Yep.
which was awesome.
It was.
Yeah, appreciate you guys coming, man.
Yeah,
This is such a good show.
We had a blast.
Packed house, good energy.
I need some gas money for that. Well,
Yeah.
you returned
I
the
think
favor.
we're even. Y'all are in League City, man. It's like North Galveston.
That's right. It is. It's north of Galveston.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got Sean Dolan here, man. We're excited to have you in studio. Like I said, I told you when I offered you to come here, it's made a lot more sense. I know it's a little drive, but man, we do these online. They're fun, but in person, you know how it is. Body language, and you can cut up
for
and
sure.
have some bro time. So
I drive 45 minutes to an hour for open mics.
Really?
So
Yeah,
for like 5 minutes. Waiting 4 hours. So this is great.
Oh, man.
This is normal.
Yeah, well, good. So I guess go ahead and tell us about yourself real quick, man. Like I said, we appreciate it.
Yeah, my name's Sean Dolan. I've been in Katy for 30 years, West Houston. Started doing comedy about 2 years ago, coming up on my second year anniversary. And just kind of hit the ground running, figuring out the game. I have a marketing background. Been doing digital marketing since 2009. Before that, I was a DJ through high school and college. So, you know, I feel like I'm a marketer sort of learning comedy and learning to be funny. And once my funny gets up to the level of my marketing, I feel like things are going to
Well, the good thing
take off.
for being in comedy, the marketing side on social media is a big part. So if you
Huge.
can do that,
Right.
that helps you. You probably got a leg up than a lot of comedians that don't have the marketing background.
Oh man, there's so many good guys, and you know, and I book them and when I produce shows. But a lot of guys have the funny, but they just don't have the business side, and so it is a struggle.
Yeah, I can see that because I mean the promotion side. I mean, social media is huge, man. We
Big
do a
time.
ton of stuff for that. But like I said, that's how I found you, from a reel that somebody, the algorithm somehow, because I follow a lot of comedians, like the Burt Kreischers and all them, you know.
Burt.
And then, you know, your algorithm comes up and it pops up on our feed, you know.
Yeah,
So,
I couldn't even
amazing.
think of a comedian now that's not active on social media that does well.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, some of them they started so long ago that their name, like Dave Chappelle, obviously his name's gonna carry him in. He doesn't need anything.
He don't have to promote himself.
Yeah, exactly.
He's probably the exception.
Somebody's making clips of him anyway and promote it anyway.
Yeah.
So
But even Bill Burr was like podcasting forever.
yeah.
So
Well, that, and then Rogan, he's had a platform for
Right.
all his buddies.
right.
And so, like, man, these guys just
Those are the
instantly
guys
get
who are leading.
millions of views, even if they're small time, and they blow
Right.
up. I mean, every one of them's Shane Gillis, all these guys that kind of,
Yeah.
they haven't been doing comedy long either.
Have you seen Matt Rife?
Yes, I just saw him.
Killing it on it.
You seen him?
On
I feel like,
TikTok.
didn't you send me something?
Yeah, I
the
did.
other-
He's
yeah.
good looking dude.
Yeah.
He talks about that and how he used to be ugly, and man,
A lot of
he's
crowd work.
He's
Oh, my
funny,
gosh.
man.
I'm just looking at what he's doing and
Yeah.
copying it.
Really?
Yeah, like how he's editing things. I stole the font, the color of his caption, everything. I'm like, well, I'm just going to copy you.
Hey, you might as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, no, he's doing well. Like, so I seen one of his videos, and then I went back and watched his other stuff, and I started
So
following him.
good.
I was like, man, he's funny, man. He just
Very funny.
he's not a big personality one, but he's got expressions in his face and stuff that it just
He's
makes
young,
it work.
too.
He's young.
He'll be at the Riot Comedy Festival in March.
Okay.
So Brian Gendron, the Riot is a comedy club at Rudyard's in Montrose, and they're doing their first comedy festival, and Matt Rife's going to be there. So
Okay, we're
you guys
going
wanna
to
check
that.
him out. Yeah, me too. Yeah,
When is it?
March. I'll get you the date. Yeah, it's in March. But
I'm open in March.
the Riot Comedy Club, Google it.
We're going to see Theo Vaughn in March as well.
We're going to Theo Vaughn.
He's coming to the hobby something.
I love
so,
Theo.
I know, dude.
I mean, he's my idol.
Oh,
I literally
he's
love
the
that guy.
best.
Same
Yeah.
way we've robbed a few things from him, like the way we started the show. Then we have our intro music and stuff. Like,
Okay,
we
yeah,
kind of started
yeah.
that from him. I was like, man, I like same way with you comedians, man. I just love watching some of their stuff. It works. You're like, okay, we're
So
trying
fun.
to emulate it. You know,
It's the best hobby in the entire world.
really.
Hands down, just the best. Like the community, what I thought it would be like going into it, because I watched, I think it was on Netflix. It was called The Comedy Store, and it was a documentary about the Comedy Store in
Yep.
LA. And it was probably like, seemed like 30, 40 interviews of comedians, like all of the best comedians you've ever heard of, talking about how they passed through the Comedy Store. And what I noticed about it was the community was so supportive of each other.
Yeah.
And you got these guys that get up on stage and they're very vulnerable. They fail a lot in public, and it just sort of creates or weeds out, whichever way, these very unique types of people that are very welcoming, very ready to laugh, very ready to help you improve. And that's what it's been in Houston. I mean, so many guys just
Really?
like immediately, if you're looking to learn and get better, they'll walk you through and help you out. So
Yeah, that's one thing Rogan talks about, the community.
Yeah.
There's some shitheads in there that don't like they'll kind of poo poo on the up and comers, but it's
Yeah.
like he's like, why do that?
very
Like,
few and far between.
That's
though.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's got to be tough, man.
Well, that's what we're here. We're here to train you.
Yeah,
Yeah, good. I'll take feedback.
I'm
Man.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. I would. We were talking about this in another episode. Comedy is one of those. There's funny people. I know a ton of funny people.
Yeah.
But some people's humor isn't something that they can write down. For me, I don't believe I could probably write down something that would be pretty funny. But
Yeah.
my humor is an interaction. So that's why at the
Sure.
comedy show when we went and saw you, there was a lot of crowd interaction. And
yeah.
the whole
Jesse,
time,
Jesse was good at that.
So good.
the whole time I was sitting there thinking to myself, and I said it to Dale later, I want for them to heckle me
Yeah.
because I wanted to be like
Yeah.
Ben
Oh, dude,
can-
Jonathan.
or Jonathan. Yeah,
Jonathan got him that show.
God, there was
Did
a,
he?
Remember the
there was-
nerdy guy with the glasses?
I was running in and out.
Oh, dude.
Oh
He's
man,
getting merch and
he,
stuff.
he stole the show, and he said probably 6 words.
He's an old he's got like a nerdy engineer kind of looking guy,
Yeah.
super smart, older dude, and he dude, Jesse said some things. They were going back and forth, and man, the guy was He was killing it.
Yeah. So we look for you guys and we don't talk to you.
Yeah.
Like if we can see in your eye like a glimmer, like a dare, we skip right over you.
He's waiting for the
You're
smoke.
like a beacon and we just maneuver around you.
I'm wearing a wig next time.
No.
You should be like scared, look
John-
scared, and then you'll get them.
Jonathan was the guy you didn't go after, and then he owned him. Yeah,
He did.
I guess you would. You're like, okay, this guy looks like he wants to smoke. I don't want to.
Exactly. And it's so risky. We were talking about it last night before our show last night with some guys. Like the moment the way they described it, and these guys have been doing this much longer than I have, but they describe it like they get out there and they build the house around them. They set the tone. They control the room with all of their prepared material. And that's once they feel safe that they've established the house, then they'll go into the crowd.
Okay, yeah.
But they don't do it until they're comfortable that there's an understanding.
You don't want to lose the room, and then the inmates take over the jail.
Right. Real quick. Yeah.
That was wouldn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when you're on stage, I don't know. I mean,
It looks so comfortable.
Unless you're a
but-
roaster,
Yeah.
I mean, you'd
Schultz,
have to. Yeah, those guys, dude. He would
that's a
own
great last
anybody.
name.
Yeah,
no
Schultz.
kidding.
I've got to be related to the guy. I'm gonna call him Andrew Schultz.
You look nothing like.
We don't. No, we don't.
Yeah, so like I said, so we went to your show. Everybody was funny, man. We had a good time. Actually,
Awesome.
Actually, after watching, and the guy Ben that followed you, the guy that I go to that he works out at the gym with me. They went to school together in the Mark.
Oh, nice.
They're buddies. Like I seen they followed.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Small world.
he said, "Man, he goes, he's funny on stage. He goes, dude, just in person, you ought to be around this guy. He goes,
He's so
he goes, you
cool.
think he's dark on stage? Wait till you get in front of him." I
Yeah.
said, "Dude, I love that kind of humor."
Ben
though.
Daniel.
Yeah, Ben Daniel. Yeah,
I love dark humor. Mm-hmm. There was a few things he said that I started blushing, and I'm like, if you can do that, that is impressive.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because
He'll cross whatever line you said.
my favorite line that he said was, "Oh, you think that's bad? Watch this," and then went into something else, and it was like, "Oh my gosh!" I mean,
The couple next to us were squirming. I know it.
He'll love hearing this.
it was
love it.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Vatican exploded right after he said that.
Yeah. As it should.
So so man, so we had a good time. You actually did something you never done before live that night, right?
Yeah. I performed a song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the second time I'd ever performed that in front of people.
Dude, you can really sing, man.
Thank you. Appreciate
I
it.
was like, damn, he's good.
Appreciate it. And 2 nights before was the first time I did it at an open mic. And that's real risky because it's 12 comedians, half of who are rooting for you, a few who aren't.
They're like, you need to
it's-
fail.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird, they're sometimes paying so much attention to what you're doing and like running, the math on what's funny and what's not,
Yeah.
that they don't laugh. And so it's really hard
That's
to read.
tough.
So I
Yeah.
came away from that with a couple of giggles going like, I don't know, like this could be a terrible idea. And then even before the show, Jesse came up to me and he was like, you know what, bro? He's like, you might want to just do your set. Like, don't do the song just yet. And I was like, I hear you, Jesse.
So I've already said on social media I'm doing it.
Yeah, I told my mom that I was doing it. My deaf ex-girlfriend is already here. But I went ahead and I was like, I'm not going to know whether it works unless I do it in front of real people. So
Yeah.
I was really going out there like, okay, it's a 3-minute song. I have to do the whole thing,
mean,
whether it bombs or not.
It was good. It was funny.
Thank
and what
you.
was better is you could actually hold a note and sing. So it made it like, okay, well, this is actually good to
Thanks.
listen to.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
But yeah, not even knowing you, I was like, okay. And
Appreciate
then
that.
knowing the premise, because okay, so he had a girlfriend that's deaf.
Yeah.
Which she was there.
Yeah.
And I told him when we got there, I said, dude, he didn't believe that she was deaf.
I
Legit.
I literally, so in my mind, right? You're in a crowd. Okay,
Right.
you're at a comedy show. I
Right.
mean, we're not. That's really hard.
You're doing the
to-
math. Like, how does that?
I said she can read lips.
And I was like,
I said, remember the Seinfeld episode?
can she
Seinfeld-
really read lips?
So she has a cochlear implant as
Okay.
well.
Oh, okay.
So there was
Okay.
definitely like,
Okay.
she has to read lips to help.
Right.
But when she takes it out, I mean, at night in the shower, I test it. Like, I don't know. I have this, I feel like, okay. So I feel like the whole relationship, I was trying to out her as faking it.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't wrap my head around
Yeah.
it. Like, I don't know. I really would.
Is that why it ended? You just couldn't trust her.
It's complicated. I like sometimes like I would knock on the door
like,
and
"Hey."
she'd be like, yeah.
You flinched.
Oh, this one time I did that, and she turned around. I was like, huh? Got ya.
Gotcha.
And she was like, you stomped on the floor. I was like, oh, that's right. You got me.
You've been trying to get those Social Security checks. I know it.
Exactly. And I knocked on the bathroom door, and she opened it, and I was like, ah. And I was like, how'd you hear me? She was like, the door moved. I'm like, oh. That was the
Spidey
relationship.
senses, though, dude. They got
But she had such a great sense of humor. I mean, our first date we went on, we're at a Irish pub, and there's a band, and we're getting to know each other, all the basic first date questions. And the band starts getting louder and louder. And as the band gets louder, I'm like leaning in trying to hear her. And then she was like, who's the deaf one now? And I was like, oh shit.
I like it.
Date 2 for sure. You know, like, so
That's awesome.
So it was cool that she could be there. And I played this whole song for her before, made sure that she was cool with the lyrics and everything. And she loved it.
I mean, she took it. Well, you could tell she was proud too.
Totally.
I mean, that was cool.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
really
yeah,
cool.
that was funny. Yeah, they literally were like a table over from us.
Yeah,
they
that's
were,
right.
They were,
Yeah,
they were
there's right
close.
category.
Because I said,
Yeah.
dude, there's. I pointed to. I said that was Jake's girlfriend.
Yeah.
So,
And her friend was deaf too, and she loved it as well.
so how's the date
real
with the deaf
special.
girl?
I mean, it's
You're like, dude, I'm
it
a
has
comedian.
its
I think this is
challenges.
perfect.
I mean, if she has a
She gonna
cochlear
hear me?
ear implant, she can still kind of understand, right?
And she was in a high school, a school for the deaf that really pushed teaching her how to speak.
Okay.
So she can speak. She has a deaf accent, but she can speak, and so it's
that's
not
good.
it's not as complicated.
Yeah,
as
it's not like she's a mute.
when she
just-
puts in
yeah.
the cochlear, it's like most people don't
She-
even notice.
Yeah, one of the big things about cochlear, and I actually love watching YouTube videos of when people can hear for the first
That's the
time.
best.
those are great.
Oh,
It
my
literally
gosh.
like it makes me
The
cry.
parents. Oh, me too, man.
Yeah.
Or seeing color for the first time.
dude, I love that.
A rainbow. Yeah, me
But
too.
you know, one
I'm
of the
a
things
softie.
that people don't think of is you get a cochlear ear implant. Great, you can hear, but that doesn't mean you can speak. Everybody assimilates the hearing and the speaking as
Right.
being one. And
That's
it's
a-
not. It's two very separate things. So
Yeah.
that's awesome that she knew how to speak and was able to.
Yeah,
overcome
we
that.
run a Facebook group called Deaf Crew in Houston that just kind of brings deaf folks together. And we were at this event on Saturday, and there's about 15 people there. And this lady walks in, and she was probably 350 pounds, just in a muumuu, not trying to impress anybody, hair all messed up, 2 teeth tops.
Yeah.
And she comes in and she shakes my hand and she goes, I didn't know there'd be hearing people here, and left.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, damn. Like, all right.
Yeah.
My bad.
Hey.
Oh, dang.
So there's all types of personalities, and yeah. So
A
it's fun.
moo-moo.
We don't like your type here, sir.
Exactly. I was like, I feel like whatever.
I'd have said something smart like, well, how'd you hear about me?
Yeah.
Dang, man.
Maybe that's why she doesn't like hearing people.
Yeah.
Probably.
Smart ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got to say something smart,
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man. No,
It was a good night.
Yeah, the show was fun, dude. So then Jesse came on, which was a big deal. He's 1,000th show.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shows. That's a ton.
He's a hustler, man.
But dude, he was funny, man.
He was.
He
He
just
was.
where he worked the crowd. You could tell he's done 1,000 shows because the way he carried himself. And
Oh, yeah.
like he was such a confidence, and like he just worked the crowd,
It's like
and he was great.
there's a level of commitment to the joke that carries it.
Yeah.
Like you can almost, I've seen people say stuff that objectively makes no sense. There's no joke,
Yep.
but they say it with such confidence
Yeah.
that they get a laugh. You know? And so when you can merge those two, where you have this just like huge confidence and a killer joke, that's amazing to watch.
So how'd you get? So this is your second year, you said, right?
Yeah.
So how did you? Like, because everybody, like, dude, like the same way. Everybody's like, "Oh man, you're funny. You should be a comedian." I'm like, dude, it ain't like that. Like, situational funny, like you talk about, situational funny, and then writing something and performing on
Performing
stage
it.
is a totally different thing. So, like, what was your how'd that happen
so
for you?
I went through a divorce about 3 years ago, and at a certain point, the hardest part for the divorce was not being around my son, because
Yeah.
I'm like hands-on, like at school, volunteering all day, And so the 50-50 was like real hard.
I bet.
I mean, like 7 full days. You know, we're like on playing games online to like make up for it. But still, you know, a lot of Fortnite. I got real good. I don't want to brag. And so, so that was like, I had to find something to do like in the evenings to get out. And I watched that documentary, The Comedy Store. I saw like, oh, that's a cool community. Like I want to be surrounded by funny people. That would be healthy for me, you know? And I got a book. I think I went out to one open mic, didn't really, you know, I was just kind of sitting in the back trying to figure out the scene. And I got this book by Judy Carter called The Comedy Bible. And the first chapter in that book is sign up for an open mic. I was like, where are the other chapters?
Slow down.
Like, I need all of the rest of it, you know? But it reminded me, because I've done like marathons and ultra marathons, which is like if you have a buddy that starts getting into ultras, he's gonna get divorced.
Really?
That is
that's another level
he's
of
leaving
training.
for a reason, yeah. And so I was like, I did a 50K and 100K, and yeah, and so and then the half Ironman, and so I remembered that the moment I signed up for a race, my brain and body immediately showed up. You know, if I was running like 1 or 2 miles a day and then I signed up for the Ironman, the next day I ran 15 miles. It's just something about your body and brain going, okay, this date in 9 months is going to suck. If I don't train now, it just overnight. So that's what it did. When I signed up for the open mic, I was like, oh, can we curse?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, oh shit. Like this is going to be embarrassing if I don't write stuff. Yeah. So it forces you to not procrastinate is what it does. You know, it's just making a goal, like making it concrete. And so I did it. And I sat down, I read a few other books on how to write jokes. And my first joke, you know, they said to go back into your life and just find significant events or what's unique about you. So I was like, okay, I grew up Mormon. And it was like, I forget what it was, like ask what's weird, funny, scary, or hard about being whatever that is. So what's hard about being Mormon? What's weird about being Mormon? And I remember that in Utah, they had this service where they would edit VHSs for you. Yeah. They would like cut and paste all the bad parts out. So you'd watch this movie that was like, hey babe, cut to breakfast.
No.
I don't, you know.
I lost 3 days.
Yeah. And so I just imagined like going to school and being like, hey, did you see the Star Wars movie where the dude like took over the prophet and like, I don't know, like this totally bastardized version. And like, I'm the idiot who doesn't know the story. Just huge plot lines missing. And so then I just had this like paragraph, you know, and that paragraph's not funny. You got to make it smaller and smaller and smaller. So you just start chipping away at it. And it turned into like, you know, growing up Mormon was weird because we didn't watch the same movies. I saw Star Wars Return of the Jebediah. I saw How I Met Your Mothers. Yeah. And that's the joke.
You said that was a good one.
But that was my first joke, and it just started with this like VHS cutting. It just kind of found its way into a little nugget, you know?
Your first Quentin Tarantino movie was 7 minutes.
Exactly.
It was the intro and outro.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
How I Met Your Mother. You got Magnus over there crying.
Poor Magnus.
And that's it. I mean, that's really it. And so you just start finding these, you know, these ideas and then just forcing them. And if you ask yourself what's funny about something, it's like your subconscious will throw out ideas.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
So then I go to the first open mic, and Rich Williams was one of the first comedians that I met that was like, hey, if you need any help, let me know. And I came to him very graciously, like, hey man, I don't know what I'm doing. If you could just point me to open mics, what do I do? I'd appreciate it. I'll buy you a beer or whatever I can do. And so he came to my first open mic, and I got up there, and you know, it's 5 minutes of material, which is like pages of material. Mm-hmm. You know, that's 5 minutes.
That's a long time.
And so my biggest worry was just not forgetting all the words. And I was a little deer in headlights, but not too bad. And I got through it, got a few laughs. And a lot of it was about my divorce, which I've slowly eliminated from it for legal reasons. And just avoid anything. But it was very cathartic. And so at the end of my set, I get off the stage and I'm like, it felt like, have you ever been skydiving?
No.
Okay. It's that feeling where you like, what am I doing? Like as you're falling out, your brain's just like, no.
Yeah.
That's the feeling up there. And it's very fight or flight. Like you can feel your body. It's that fight or flight where like when you're just biologically, when you see a lion, it's your body's like, okay, blood, go to the legs and run.
Yeah,
And so it just drains from your brain and you completely blank out. And so I could feel that, they call it the panic button. I could feel it coming, and you just have to like tell yourself it's going to be fine. And like, it's this weird feeling. And it gets less and less of that as you do it a lot. But I got through and I got off stage, and Rich Williams, I was like, hey man, like, how did I do? And he's like, bro, he's like, you know what I love about open mics? He's like, I'm either laughing with you or I'm laughing at you. I was like, Rich, how did I do? That's all he gave me. I was like, all right. So I went back and watched it, and it's slowly gotten worse and worse the better I get. But it wasn't,
I'm sure the hard part is trying not to talk too fast.
That's a big one. You are compelled to hurry through it.
Yeah, because then you're like, oh shit, I just finished everything. I still got 2 minutes left of time.
Or remembering, like, not slipping over a joke. Jesse actually did that at the show.
Did he, or did he pretend to?
He missed the joke.
He missed part of it. He didn't play it into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like,
because he does one thing where he pretends, he blames someone for messing up his joke, but this might be
he said different. A joke. He's like, I forgot to tell the pre-joke to that joke. He's like,
it doesn't land the same when you don't have the setup.
Yeah, he's like,
and then somebody yelled out callback, and then it was like everybody died laughing.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
I didn't even know what a callback was until I Googled it.
He didn't. Like he'll go right through that. It doesn't bother him at all.
What
does it mean?
Like if we were to make a joke about someone's last name having a D on it, it would be a callback to what happened earlier.
Okay. I got you.
It's like a freebie.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because he cracked up at that. I was like,
yeah. Dude, that guy worked the crowd.
He went for like 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was funny the whole time.
So when I was one of the things I was trying to see if this was part of it. He kept saying, you know what, I'm not going to stop. Everybody's wanting me to leave. I mean, were the people there? They really don't want you to leave.
No, I mean, he's got definitely like the wait staff wants to go home, and the Improv does have a time that they want to shut down and let their employees go. But he's never pushing anyone's buttons with that. Like him, that's all just sort of like sort of an encore feel. Like, no, keep going. Like, all right, fine. But he's got
I had
the
a couple hours left. He could have kept going.
One of my favorite parts is at the very beginning of the show, and then Ben Daniel was telling us the story about his girlfriend, about the sweet tea.
Oh yeah, sweet tea. That's a callback.
And so he comes up. He comes on. He's walking off stage. He's a big old tall guy. Jesse's on there. Hey, give it up for Ben Daniel. I met him 3 years ago, and I brought his ex-girlfriend a sweet tea. And dude,
crushed.
He just turned around and like flipped him off. And dude, it was the funniest shit ever.
I mean, so like stuff like that, was that planned?
100%. He's done that at 1,000 shows.
Okay,
and it kills every time.
Every time.
Yeah. In my mind, I'm like, man, that was really witty.
I know.
It was so quick, but it's just that's
last
the
night,
performance.
I will say though, last night he did the same thing with Stacy. She was on the show last night, the Keenan Presents show, and she had this joke about having sex with some guy at school, and she was looking like the ceiling of the high school ceiling. So he comes out coughing, and he's like, "Sorry guys, I was in the back room with Stacy. My mouth looks like the ceiling of the high school ceiling." So he's good at doing that on the fly also. Yeah. But the ones that stick, he just keeps them.
That one with Ben was freaking fun.
It was so good.
I get with Ben. I met him 3 years ago when I brought his girlfriend a sweet tea.
I literally thought he just made that up.
So good, but that's the show. That's why it's
performance,
fun.
Man.
And he could have said it in a way that isn't convincing, but that's the showmanship of it. He says it
that sounded
like it's
off the cuff.
Exactly.
It sounded
and
that's the magic.
Yeah,
that you kind of don't appreciate until you sort of see how.
That's what makes you respect these guys,
right?
Because like. Man, that's just funny.
1,000 shows.
1,000.
He said it took over 10 years, right? I think he said over 10 years. I thought he's
maybe.
I mean, how does that look like in somebody's personal life? They don't have one, probably. I mean, 1,000 shows, you're talking over 10 years. I mean, that's a lot of travel.
He's got a Mercedes bus. I mean, he does it right. He knows what he's doing. He's got a Mercedes bus that he travels around with. And he's hooked up with like Chad Prather and Zach Rushing and a bunch of these guys. And so he'll get booked for like a 16, 20.
That's what he said that night. He got another
tour. Yeah, so he gets booked out like years in advance, and then he fills everything in between that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
So that's
you think comedians don't make money? He makes money.
Yeah,
he's got the business and the comedy.
So you started that? You did your open mic. So So what was your like? Okay, what's my next thing? Like, I'm going to do this or not?
Yeah. So you go from the open mics to sort of getting to know people, learning who to take advice from and who not to.
Yeah.
You know, because you're like, I think everyone knows the answers, and then you're like, not everyone knows the answers. And I kind of quickly, about 6-7 months into it, I quickly got into doing my own show because I was just like, I know digital marketing. You know, I can throw an event. I can sell tickets, no problem. And so what I did was I found a venue in Katy called the Santi, real beautiful venue. And we started throwing the Sean Dolan comedy show. And I booked all of the bookers. You know, all the guys that booked the shows were my headliners. Doop, 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 doop. So now we have a relationship. You know, I'm paying them to come headline a show. Paid them, you know, $300 to headline, 100 to feature, 50 to open. Sold tickets for $50 for VIP and back. Sold 120, 125 tickets the first show. And I was like, all right. So did 7 of those. That kind of got me a reputation. It definitely got Jesse's attention, and that's where he was one of my headliners, and we sort of hooked up and started doing shows together. And he, you know, promoting those shows, I started doing, you know, William Hung.
Oh,
She
yeah.
Bangs.
Yeah.
So I paid him $40 to do a promo video for me.
There you go. A little cameo.
Oh baby, what you moves?
He did the song and everything. It was like $40. I was like, I did it on. I think it was on Cameo. Yeah.
Oh dude.
And then Jesse, I think it was Jesse, booked me for my first Houston Improv show. And look, you know, I'm not the funniest guy he could put on the show, but I'm the best marketer, right? So who are you going to book?
I see
Yeah.
even your social media. Y'all were talking. He's like, you had cameras there. You were doing your
Oh
thing. with
yeah,
that.
no, I bring the cameras in. I pay for them to get there, and then the guys kind of negotiate like since they're there already, you
Yeah.
know, and they give them a pretty decent rate, and that's fine to me because they got to be there anyway for me. So happy to. And a lot of times I'll film the whole show and I'll just give everyone, you know, a lot of these guys like $100. I mean, $200 to film a show is like that's a lot of money for them.
Yeah.
You know, they're making $20 to headline sometimes at different shows around Houston at restaurants. So
That's a tough gig.
Magnus,
It's tough.
Don't get any ideas. You're pro bono still.
So
That's
So he
awesome.
booked me for my first Houston Improv show. It was sold out. And then he just kind of kept bringing me along because he just, you know, he told me that I'm second to him, the hardest working comedian in Houston. And last night we were even talking about starting a business together and booking a bunch of shows, corporate events and stuff. Yeah, so
Well, he's good. He's a good guy to seems like to
partner up with.
hit your wagon to.
Yeah,
because he's got it
definitely.
going.
Yeah,
He's got a good following.
He's real smart about it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
He has cool merch too. Like I was seeing, he had a bunch of stuff too, man. Like he was.
When we were leaving, he
Totally.
had that shirt he was gonna do, the $500 shirt he was gonna sign. So I told Dale, I'm like, I'm gonna buy that shirt because you know half of it was going to a good cause, and I'm
Right.
like, I'm gonna buy that shirt. And
Yeah.
then we started walking out.
It was madhouse.
The shirt, somebody had already bought it,
Totally.
and 2, there was so many people in one spot waiting on merch and then that one guy that was standing there saying, "This is a fire hazard." This is,
That was so awkward.
dude,
It was very awkward.
That was the best part, like one of the best parts of the show. Like he
Nobody-
should have been involved in the show.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
Nobody listened to him either.
Yeah, I felt bad for him. And like my merch table was literally,
Right by the
if
door.
anyone stopped to buy a shirt from me, they'd be breaking the law. So I was like, I picked the wrong
Yeah.
merch table. But he kills it on merch. Like sometimes he's, you know, he doesn't need to make a ton of money on the show because he kills it at merch.
Yeah.
You know, he does these big venues and he'll kill it on merch. Like ridiculous.
I can't believe it.
And he got me his shirt guy. I got the same shirt guy. I posted on Facebook. I was like, hey, everybody. All right, I'm doing merch now, you know, so if anyone has an idea for merch, $50 if I use it. And I just posted on Facebook. And Jesse, literally 2 seconds later, texts me. And he's like, F around and find out. That's you. I was like, oh, that is me. So that's on my shirts now. It's Jesse. He's like, here's my t-shirt guy. This is how much he'll cost you. He's like, get a tablecloth. He's like, do this. Get a mannequin. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, it's the whole thing. I mean, he's
Dude,
on
that's
it.
awesome.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
so
We need to learn how to sell some merch.
Yeah, no kidding.
That ain't easy. I mean, you know,
Well, it'd be
it's
different.
easy
I mean,
when you have a huge
well,
group
when
of
you're
people coming
there,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
when
It's-
you're there. But I'm
when you got people there, they want to support you, and that's another way to support you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
right
yeah.
there. And
But it's all about the presentation, and he does a really good job. But that shirt, he sells $500 shirt at almost every show. Just an
Oh, I
extra
believe it.
$500.
Well,
Yeah.
if it wouldn't have been crowded, I'd have had one.
Totally.
It was a cool shirt. I mean, I wouldn't have worn it. But
But it is. I mean, it's a cool idea. It's like the shirt he wore in the show.
yeah,
Cool. You know, there's something important there. So.
Yeah,
But that's how he thinks. Like he's always finding the value.
And
it's like game worn.
Exactly.
memorabilia.
Exactly.
Well, you got to think if somebody was a big fan of his and it's his 1,000th show, which is a big deal.
That's right.
That's a
It's
good
special one.
That's a good one to buy.
It's a really good story.
It's like you're like a proctologist gloves. Like here, game worn.
Dude,
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
used.
Huge.
Yeah, see, I'm in marketing too.
I love that's where he went.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah. It's game worn, baby.
Buns and butt stuff.
Clearly.
Clearly.
That's not true. That is not true.
Mind your
who?
business.
So I want to get to this because this is one of the things how I found you.
Yeah.
So you have this story
Yeah.
about your son being bullied at school, and so I was like, man, we got to get you to come talk about the story,
Yeah.
talk about everything, because what you text me about it was crazy, like the aftermath. So
I mean,
Please, and don't break my heart and tell me it's not real.
no, it's 100%.
Okay, thank God.
It's so real.
Thank God.
And it brings me so much joy every time I think about it. Like some days I just wake up and I'm like, that's a real story.
I love that. Good.
all right, I want you to tell it for
Walk us through
for the
it.
people here. Yeah.
All right. So,
If you want to tell the thing as your bit, and
sure,
then
we
talk
can
about
start
it.
there and then we can go back.
Yeah.
So, my son was being bullied in junior high by a teacher's kid. And the principal's hands were tied. So I went to the school board to see if the superintendent would help. And at a public school board meeting, the superintendent of Katy ISD called me a liar. So I went home and I did what any reasonable parent would do. I ran his doctoral dissertation through a plagiarism checker. And 9 days later, he announced the abrupt end to his 30-year career in public education. Because I got time, you know? Like, fuck around and find out how much time I have. But I honestly felt bad as I watched his career end and his reputation ruined. I felt bad that I never bullied anyone before. It's pretty great. It's the best. But I don't dwell on it anymore. It happened a few years ago. I'm past it. But if you guys were interested in learning more, I guess you could go to www.superintendentbully.com, buy some merch, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on TikTok.
Dude, it's so funny. Like,
so good.
Yeah.
dude, I was so glad to hear that. Like, such a funny story. That's why I was like, dude, like, I want to hear more of this.
Yeah.
So, okay, so
What do you want to know? Yeah. It's a
So-
long story, so it's always hard for me to like.
Yeah, I guess we just might have some
Yeah,
questions.
So
whatever.
it was, I mean, I guess it all goes back to, to kind of shorten the simple form of it. Your son was being bullied.
Yeah.
You, like any parent, went to the school, complained. Obviously, nothing happens. We got to play both sides of the card, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. And then finally it
So,
happened.
so what was the aftermath? So let's say, okay, fast forward past that. What happened?
Well, so let me back up, if
Okay.
that's all right.
Okay.
So I go to the school board for the first time, and I'm like, "Hey guys, I've seen these issues, and the Parkland shooting had just happened.
Oh, wow.
And I was seeing this pattern with my son where they were just missing things. So our oldest stepson had passed away, and our my second youngest son, we took him out for bereavement, went to the funeral, came back, and some kid at school was making fun of him, calling him retarded, and his older brother was retarded. And so this instance happened, and my stepson lashed out at the kid. And so they just came down on him so hard. And we got in there and we're talking to the counselor, and the counselor's like, "Is there anything going on at home that might be causing him problems?" And I'm like, "Yeah, where are you guys?" You know? And so like, it was the first time, I'm a stepdad coming in, this first time I'd had a child in elementary school. And I was like, you guys aren't even paying attention. I mean, to me, if someone puts bereavement on the attendance, like things should happen,
Yeah.
you know? And so this Parkland kid, it was like, his mom died, and the way he dealt with it was he went to the high school that he didn't even attend. He just went to the entity of school. That's what he was pissed at. Right? Because he was bullied and things happened. So it was that over the years, there was a bunch of instances where one of them was he was punched in the hallway and he defended himself and both kids were punished equally. And I was like, I don't like that. What are we teaching our kids? They can't defend themselves. They have to just get hit and take it. Like, what if they're cornered in a bathroom? Like, what are we doing? Yeah. And so it was just these things. So I just brought it to their attention and there's been something recently that had happened as well. And I got nothing. I called them. I left voicemails. I spoke at the meeting. Not a single phone call, email, nothing. And I was like, all right, put my digital marketing hat on. I put the video online. I got 200,000 views. I was like, maybe I'll get a phone call. And by that 30 days later, they have meetings every month, public, that you can speak at. So I went to that second meeting. And the moment I walked in the building, they sent me an email. Like, oh, the problem's back. Take care of it. They sent me an email and they said they investigated everything that I'd said at the meeting and everything was false. And like they said things like I never reached back to the principal, like I flaked or whatever. I reached back to where we met, we watched the assault on video in her room. Like all these things happened. I was there, she was there. They didn't investigate anything. They didn't ask me any questions, no phone calls. So it's just so gross. I was like, ugh. So I'm getting this paper. I'm like, all right. So the night before, a guy named Greg Gay had come forward and wanted to share a story that he had an instance when he was younger with the superintendent at the time.
He did it, and it went viral.
Correct.
I watched that.
This is the same story.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
This is the same story. So watch. So he meets me the night before and he says, I've got a story about the superintendent. And I won't tell it if you don't know, so it's more of a surprise. And he tells me the story. He's like, do you think it would help? I was like, yeah, I think that would help. And so we went up together. We walked in like we didn't know each other, just like strangers, just so, I don't know. It was weird. It was just, they were so weird. Anyway, we walk in, we sign up. It's random who gets to speak when. We sign up to speak. I go up, I get called up and I say, hey guys, I spoke to you a month ago. I didn't get a phone call. I didn't get an email. I said, I posted the video online, got 200,000 views. I was like, you tell me the number I need to hit to get a phone call, because I'll just keep going. I was pissed, Yeah. And at the end of it, Lance, the superintendent, who I didn't know from anybody, he was just the guy that happened to be the superintendent. No ill feelings towards him, nothing. As I go to sit down, he's like, Mr. Dolan, no, I'll take care of this. He's like, the deceased child that you mentioned, we all know it's difficult to lose a child. We have no records of that child ever attending KDISD.
Oh,
and he sits back like this and smiles at me. And I was like, can I respond? Because it was so irrelevant. It wasn't about that child. It was about the one in the school that was being bullied about it. So it was just this like obfuscation, checkmate move for optics. Mm-hmm. And someone in the crowd yelled like relevance, it's just so confusing. And so he sits back just smiling. And then the next person they called was Greg Gay. Oh, and wow. Greg Gay comes up to the pulpit. He goes, my name is Greg Gay. I actually went to middle school with Lance. I was bullied, viciously bullied. Students bullied me. Coaches bullied me. He said, one day, I had my head shoved in the urinal and busted my lip. And I laid there in the fetal position while a bunch of kids kicked me. He's like, I went to the principal's office and they told me that those kids will grow up and change one day. And they did nothing. He said, because nobody in the school district was there to help me. This district, that district, KDISD. Yeah. He's like, is that how this is going to be? Referencing me. Like, are you just going to ignore it? And then he said, Lance, you were the one that shoved my head in the urinal. And he walked off. Oh. And the oxygen went out of the room.
Oh, man. I've seen that clip so many times.
And then he goes, and then someone laughed. It's debatable on who laughed, whatever. But I saw Lance and he was smirking. Like he was, anyway. And then Greg goes, you hear in the video, he's like, you don't believe me? Because I have witnesses who were there when it happened. Oh my gosh. So this guy, Chris Dolan, comes forward. He was actually, he was there in the bathroom when it happened, saw it happen. And the whole community knew about this guy. And
yeah.
So the mistake that Lance made was he's like, I don't even remember going to school. I don't even know if I went to school with this guy. Yearbook, next day. Yeah. I mean, the community, you can't lie to the internet. They will find you.
No.
And so just all of that. And then this is my life's work at that point, right? So people started messaging me like, well, I got a story about Lance. Well, I got a story about Lance. Well, I got a story about Lance. A sitting criminal court judge in Alabama said that he went to high school, thought he would be in jail by now, watched him throw 25-pound weights at kids in gym class. Another guy, a preacher, came forward, said that he watched him punch kids in the face and just threaten menacing them in high school.
Yeah.
A banker comes forward, says that he told Lance to slow down in the neighborhood. He was with his girlfriend driving. I wasn't there, but this is what the police report said. Lance got out of the car, confronted the father who'd just come home from a date with his wife, and broke his rib, dislocated his shoulder, and caused bleeding in his brain. He was in a 5-day coma. Lance was 18 at the time. They let him off. Football player. So all of us, every 2 or 3 days, there's this new news story, and I'm just like getting these horrible stories, and then just feeding them to the news. And I'm like, I was so mad. So KDISD responds. Lance responds with this message. He said, "There's an evil in our community." This is like printed in the local rag magazine. "There's an evil in our community that is trying to bring down a good man, and despite how much this is destroying our community, I ask that you pray for these individuals."
Oh my God.
And then they conducted a prayer circle around him. So there's 300 people praying over him to protect him from me. I don't
Yeah.
It's flattering, first of all. And I'm just sitting there with a video camera like, what is going on, you know? And so that kind of, so then like I'm in the restaurant, people are like screaming at me. People went nuts in this small town, like nuts. Like I don't know. It was so weird, the reaction. Like kids couldn't come over to our house because their parents were afraid that the car would be seen in front of our house. Like that's how crazy it got. And so then I'm sitting there and he's like, he's got the community on his side after all this stuff. And it's like, it's not about like things from his past or canceling him. It is that he's ignoring the problem.
Yeah.
And it's because he is the problem. You know what I mean? Like you can't have a doctor who has a drug problem. You can't trust a nurse with a drug problem or a police officer with a theft problem. Like that's your job. Like,
Right.
And so I'm sitting there in my office one day and I'm like, they're going to keep him. Like he's Teflon, you know, he's a good looking guy. They love him. They're praying over him. And then I remembered the first day I went in to the school board to speak at the meeting. First day, I'm a nobody. I'm not a threat to them. I'm just some parent. They don't know why I'm there. And the videographer from the school district is talking to me about this production they're trying to do for the big, some gala for the teachers. And they're trying to time this where he's talking to himself on the video. Classic narcissist. So he's got like a video screen of him up there. And anyway, it's, you know, cute little thing back and forth with himself. And he was like, I was telling the big guy, that's what we call him. I was telling the big guy that I don't know if we can pull it off, Mr. Hent. And he said, Mr. Hent turned to me and said, look, son, if I can write my doctoral dissertation in 3 months, we can do this. He was bragging about how quickly. So I'm sitting there in my office and I'm like, 3 months seems a little quick.
Unless you copy and paste.
And then I it's real quick. It's like 3 or 4 control V's and you're done. And so this copy leaks is like $30. I ran it through and just like 78% match to this dissertation written 4 years earlier at Liberty University. They changed 2 words in the title. I mean, the title was like almost the same.
So when did he get his?
2014. This wasn't way back. This is recent.
So he's an idiot.
Totally.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, you know, do it back in '98 and then get it over with, retire, and then even if you get fired, you're good.
It's too late. Yeah.
Now you can't do that.
And so, University of Houston purchased a subscription to turnitin.com in like 2010. 4 years after that, look, I don't know how it happens. I have to believe someone wrote it for him. He paid someone. I have to believe it. I mean, nobody's that crazy to knowingly submit.
Yeah.
No,
because at that time he was either a principal or a superintendent, but he was heading. He was on track to be superintendent. So it's like, I don't know how you sleep at night knowing that's sitting there. So I have to believe he's not that insane that he could just sleep at night knowing it's a landmine waiting for someone to come across and brag about it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm speculating, but I think he probably paid someone, trusted him, and he didn't pay enough. He went cheap.
When I was in college, I used those services that if I had a long paper due and I wanted to, go party or something, I would use somebody, but at least they cited their sources.
Oh, no. This whole and like even the data, even the numbers from the data was copied over. They copied the data, so it was like coincidentally the exact same numbers in a different study. It was so bad.
No.
So I'm sitting in my office and I run it, and you got to remember, like, this guy was Teflon, and I was like, oh, it was just the best moment. I was like, it's a dead, like I found a dead body and he killed him. You know what I mean? So it was so just heart was just a beautiful moment. And so I messaged the school board and I said, you guys have 3 days.
Oh man.
It's like, you want to play a game? You like TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you have 3 days. Shit. I was like, I don't want to bring shame to U of H. Don't want to bring shame to KDISD. You have 3 days, 72 hours. And they did not respond to me. I got their phone numbers. I texted them. They got the message. And then I went on Fox 26 and boom. 9 days later, he's like, it's become untenable in this community. The
evil got me.
The lies about me. And I'm just like, this guy just pushed through it. And for a year and a half, it took University of Houston a year and a half to investigate a 300-page dissertation. They called me up there 3 different times. They're asking me all these questions like, so why exactly did you search it? Who cares?
Like, it doesn't matter.
It was just such a weird...
Like, petty.
So petty. I got time.
You know how much time I got?
had so much time. But they, so I just felt, it just felt gross. Like, they're missing the whole point. Like, it's, so...
Oh, shit.
Finally, after like a year and a couple months... I was like, I'd had enough, because it's like, even people in the community, you'd be surprised how many people don't look at evidence. They just hear something.
Oh yeah,
the president.
It's called the media.
Oh, and every human. Yeah, it's so common. And so like the president of the school board said in the Houston Chronicle, literally, there's no truth to Dolan's allegations. Like, okay.
Wow.
So everyone, it's powerful, and people. End of story. Why would she say that if it's not true? So for a year and a half, all these people think I just made this up. Like, what a horrible person just to like make up plagiarism. It's a bold move.
Yeah.
Bold move.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah. And so I had enough, and I went and spoke at the Board of Regents meeting. Tillman Fertitta's there. And it was kind of weird because like I walked up to the podium, and I don't think they ever had parents show up. I mean, this is all like high level University of Houston, like fancy stuff. And I come up and I was like, and I get up and Tillman Fertitta goes, he's like, Mr. Dolan, it's good to see you again. So apparently he'd done his research. I worked for him at like Rainforest Cafe 20 years before. So like, I think once I walked in, like I was a person of interest and anyway, so I just begged him to finish the investigation. Can we just end this? Like, just be an example to all the kids in school. Teach them that this is not right. You don't want them to do this and then get busted later. Can we just do the right thing? And within 30 days, they finished the investigation and they pulled his dissertation. They quoted FERPA. They're not allowed to say why, but the only 3 things was like copyright, plagiarism, or falsification of data. None of those look right. So that's where we ended.
So have you seen him since?
He came out like...
He gave a swirly yesterday.
So, yeah. That's why my lips busted. He actually... So I ran for school board because I was just pissed.
You had a mission. And you had some time.
You're like the rock and walking tall.
Yeah. I was like... I'm going to keep going. Yeah. And so... He came to this little event and endorsed the people running against me, which is again a bold move. Like,
dude, I love it.
After he's been, and they're like taking his endorsement. Like, it's just so weird. It's just bizarro.
Man of honor.
Just keep walking. Nothing's wrong. It's like that the meme with the dog with the fire in the back. Yeah. Everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine.
I support these people. It's so weird.
So you ran for
nothing
school.
Nothing against him. I just support these people.
My God, what else do you do? You run for school board.
I don't do that anymore. That wasn't fun. That was weird, man.
That's got to be tough. That's got to be tough.
Because that, like, when you're threatening with being a voting member on a school board, they get. I had, Wayne Dolcefino?
Wayne Dolcefino, yeah.
Dolcefino. Do you? Oh, you're going to love this. Wayne was paid $15,000 to investigate me. The school paid him, public record, $15,000 to go through all my Twitter followers, social media people, interview them. I suspect looking for dirt, looking for something compromising that they could use.
Wow.
After he got his check, he called me up and we went to breakfast and he told me all about it. He's the greatest guy. So nice.
So what is he? That's what he's
an investigator.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all he does.
He investigates. So he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I told him they, should have ignored you, but they didn't listen to me.
But for $15,000, I'll look at your followers.
Yeah. So, and I think I'm a big fan of his. And his son ran for office, and I'm a huge
hilarious.
fan. But yeah, it's just so funny. It's like it's just his job. Like I didn't take any offense to it. It was so funny, like meeting my investigator. But then they sent another guy who just sat down on me and my ex-wife at breakfast. Like very intimidating. Just sat down in the middle of breakfast at Snappy's Little Greasy Spoon and Katie.
Oh yeah.
And sits down and just starts peppering me with questions. And I started recording because I got real uncomfortable. And I went outside and I checked under my car for listening devices. I was panicked. It's so weird.
Dude, you got deep.
I know. And Katie. Can you imagine being high, in a real city? A big. It's Katie.
Your car blew up one morning. In your house.
For sure.
Honestly, and this
gave me a taste.
And this is 100% opinion.
Yeah.
I feel that this was a deal because it was Katie. I bet this stuff happens all the time in Houston.
Everywhere. Yeah.
But you know what? The spectrum of the amount of people that are in there, it's just, it's one little thing.
It gets lost in the shuffle.
You got cities like, Katy and, League City. And, they want to be these high class,
Totally.
Let's do everything
There's
right.
a lot of money on the line. There's a lot of architects,
absolutely.
builders, real estate. There's a lot of money. And so they need to protect it. And their image, I think that's what I started to figure out is it's the image, the real estate. When you start messing with that, you got some big people that get woken up and involved.
They're kind of prestigious. They act. You think about it as for sports and everything.
Yeah, and my youngest son is in Katy, and he has amazing teachers. Had amazing elementary school, amazing junior high. It's not the teachers. It's not at the teacher level. It's most of the administrators are great. It's once you get up into the really top-heavy district administrators.
The political positions.
Exactly. Yeah. That's where it gets gross. And I even, a lot of the teachers kind of pulled me aside and were like, hey, we're not them. And I was like, all right, fair enough. And it took me a while to kind of separate that, but that's an important distinction. They're great. They're great schools when they're left alone. Yeah. But whenever the district kind of gets involved, that's when it gets
teachers
messy.
Are handcuffed.
Exactly.
We all know that.
And that's why the principal's hands were tied. That's why I had to go to the school board because he wished he could help, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
when you get Lance on here, get his side of the story
for sure. Oh my gosh!
For sure. If you're okay with that, we will absolutely DM him.
1,000%. I took a school board member. So they voted me 1,000%, guys. The other thing they did at the meeting where he resigned 9 days after I published, went to the news with the plagiarism. They announced that the board, they moved to pursue a defamation lawsuit against me. That's how bold they were. And I think they knew that U of H would take so long that they would just kind of die out. But and I literally almost shit my pants because I was like, how does insurance work with that? Umbrella insurance.
What's my deductible?
Exactly. Yeah, that was my first thought. My wife's going to be pissed. This is really
the joke's going long enough, Sean.
Because I gave them the money. I gave them the taxes to sue me with. They got so much money. They're going to win. This war of attrition, I will lose 100%. So it was a moment of panic. And it's crazy. I got this random phone call the next day because it was in the news. I found out about it because a reporter called me. What do you think about the defamation lawsuit? I was like, what? And I've gone too far.
The time really got me this time.
Yeah. I need to get a different hobby. This lady calls me and she's like, hi, I'm whatever her name was. I forget. And I was like, okay, hi. She was like, so I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that I am the author of. I'm here in the legislature. She was at the Capitol, Austin. I just want to let you know that I wrote the anti-SLAPP law, which protects people like you. And if you weren't aware of it, they can't sue you. And I was like, okay, thanks. Bye. It's like an angel just showed up and like relieved me. And she just found my number. It was the weirdest thing.
Dude,
but it's like, like a saint.
What a
like,
blessing.
I love her. I forget her name.
Because you could have been a downward spiral.
Oh my God, I was freaking out. But I just random phone call was like, hey, you're good.
This is over a course of what, 2 years?
The majority of it was like 2018, February, March to like May, June.
See, I would have died right in March.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
Like I would have been so anxious about everything going on.
I was not healthy. I mean, it was like a lot of stress. I mean, it was just crazy.
Kind of consumed your life though.
Yeah, but it's like when the moment you say something and they say you're lying, it's like, well, shit. Now they think I'm the liar.
And
so
if you don't continue, you're the liar.
Exactly. And if I didn't keep pushing, it would have been this just. It's weird.
Well,
it's
he could have kept doing this to another kid, another family.
Yeah. So that's the story. It's real.
Yeah, we'll DM him and see if you're lying.
Yeah, for sure.
That's got a lot of layers to it.
100%. He went dead silent for like. I mean, I heard he moved somewhere. I don't want to say where, but.
No, we'll get him on. We'll get him on Riverside.
Oh my God!
When we push pause, tell us where he's at. We'll go there.
Yeah, we'll do remote.
We can podcast in his front yard. I don't care.
Dude, he would totally bully Vaughn. I'd love it.
Yeah. And me and Greg got together the other day because his story blew up on TikTok like 2 days ago. It's got like 1.5 million views right now of him.
I swear I've seen that.
Yeah, probably.
It's crazy.
And people were like, "Oh my God, what's Greg doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. Hey, Greg, what are you doing?" So I went over to his house and we did like a live TikTok. It was kind of cool. And he was just answering questions, telling the story. I put his Venmo up. People sent him money. It was amazing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But like his story resonated with so many people.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, he had like women in Saudi Arabia contacting him. I mean, just like that got far. And like just talking about the bullying they've been through and people in China and India. Like he had people from everywhere, all walks of life reaching out to him. Just like the story touched him. So it's kind of cool.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Golly, you uncovered a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking like, who's got dirt on me? I had a little streak in my mind where I was when I was younger. I was a little bully, but I wasn't like physical. You know, I didn't like to touch people.
Did you put someone in a coma? I think you're okay.
Yeah.
There was a swirly this one
and he
time.
almost was. He was. That none of that mattered. Yeah. Like now he would have been fine. It's just the plagiarism that got him.
That's even worse.
I love that. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But you know what? And the good news is too, as I bet even just in the city or worldwide, I mean, people are going to be like, well, maybe I shouldn't do what that guy did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially with. The internet and everything being public.
You don't want to mess anybody's kids because you don't know what a parent will go to the depths of what we know now to get your message across.
Oh yeah. I would much less go into the middle of a live firefight in Afghanistan than go around a bunch of moms who you've just picked on their kids or dads.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at least I got a chance in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah,
I wonder how many teachers or doctors or anybody that's done a dissertation is like, oh man, I know that I have a little copy there. I got to take mine away.
You know, it's interesting because like after at some point in my obsession, where they weren't listening and they weren't responding to U of H wasn't responding. I was like, all right, I'll find some more. So
no!
Like if you're not gonna, because they stopped responding to the investigation. Like I was involved, they updated me, and then they just went silent. And I was like, you guys are not gonna go silent on this. Like they think I'm lying. I need you to clear this up. And so I at that, I don't know if they did this before, but all of a sudden, from my perspective, I didn't notice it before, but they wouldn't let you download the dissertations. You had to go in person into a room, and you couldn't take them with you.
Oh my God.
You could only open them. There's only taking pictures of them. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. So they're kind of locking them down.
You're basically the cause of the teacher shortage.
Basically. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Dude, it's no problem. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That's all, dude. That's a really cool story.
It is.
I was like, I heard the story, right, and I thought that was part of the bit. And I'm like, there's going to be some truth to it. But I didn't think that it was 100% true.
Down to the 9 days.
That's great comedy.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah, so that
I mean, it sucks for your
year
kid.
and a half of my life
happened.
is like a minute 45 joke.
Yeah.
Dude,
But he never had a problem. Never again.
Okay, good.
Class president, got accepted to Yale, killed it, crushed school.
Got accepted to Yale.
Yeah, not a single problem ever since. And my other son never had a problem. And all the teachers are, not the teachers, but like the administrators are so nice, like so good. And I'm not saying they wouldn't have been good, but I feel like my son is the safest son at school. I just have a really good feeling.
That's Dolan's kid.
Yeah. Don't.
And I'm so nice. Like, I'm so nice.
Don't dick around with the
everything.
Dolans.
Can he wear that shirt to school? They approved it?
My son cannot. No. I definitely don't bring my comedy into the school.
That is awesome. Going to Yale. Wow. That's impressive.
No kidding.
Hope my kid can go to San Jack.
I didn't go to college.
I tried.
It's not all that cool.
Yeah.
Unless you go to Yale. It's different.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the furthest? I guess we'll talk more about the comedy. What's the furthest you've traveled for a show? Like where? Have you...
So I went up to Dallas to speak at a digital marketing conference.
I seen that online.
Okay.
One of your jokes. You had some little reels from that.
Yeah. And while I was there, I found my way into. I actually invited the Houston Improv digital marketing team to come to the conference. I paid for one of them to come to the conference. Like, hey, come to the conference because I would like to get their business, because that would help my comedy and my business. And they sent one of their guys and took him around all day. And so then they booked me on the Addison Improv. Like, all right, so just a little back and forth, help each other. That was cool. So I performed at the Addison Improv. And then I'm going to Navasota this Saturday for a show with Nick Morrison. Yeah.
There is a lot of, I guess I didn't realize the business background of it all. Like,
in what way?
Like, you have, when you go and you see a stand-up comedian, you think their marketing is because they're funny, and then everybody else will say how funny this guy is, and they'll get booked. It's not like that at all.
There's hilarious comedians in Houston
that just can't figure it out.
That are not getting what they deserve. They're just not. Yeah. Yeah. And like, and I every chance I get when I book a show, like I book the funniest person because I don't need them to sell tickets. Like I take care of that.
Yeah.
So it kind of works out because I do pick the funny guys. I'm just a few shows here and there, but that's definitely McDonald's is not the best hamburger.
It's horrible.
It's just the most popular. It's marketing. I'm like the McDonald's
brand recognition, man.
But that fillet of fish is so good.
So what's your day job? What do you?
I run a digital marketing agency.
Okay.
We run Google ads, Facebook ads, social media ads. So I was with Pittsburgh Steelers for a few years. Did all their pro shop selling on Google, and we do a lot of online e-commerce, a lot of lead gen for attorneys. And
nice.
One of my clients is a whistleblower attorney, so kind of helped, in line with what I was doing. So.
Hey, you got to use your resources.
Totally. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. This company's called Pushfire. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine's in digital marketing.
Yeah.
Fountain Forward is the name of his company.
Yeah. Comedy's not paying my bills. That is.
I would think that that's one of those jobs where there's so much of it that it's kind of saturated that just the 1% wins. I mean, I would think that money in it is a long time coming. It's not overnight.
For sure.
The good thing is you can go viral on social media from just one clip.
Yeah.
And that can make a difference in getting booked, I'm sure, huh?
Yeah. I think that's why I'm in Navasota this Saturday.
Okay.
It might be, yeah. That's why I'm here.
I've seen you post some other things that you've had some stuff going viral. Like you had some big ones like starting to hit on TikTok.
I did the superintendent joke. And what's interesting is I posted the superintendent joke as you guys saw it.
Yep.
From start to finish.
Yeah.
7,000 views. And then I talked with a guy named Darren who has been doing TikTok for a long time. And he's like, you got to cut it down. And he showed me this video that he posted of a skateboard. And it was like 7 seconds long. And the skateboard at the end kind of drifts off camera, which makes sense. And he got like 10,000 views. And then he took 1 second off of the end of the video and it got 700,000 views. And he just looked at where the attention dropped and he just cut it out of the video. So the skateboard lands and that's the end. So now everyone watched all of it, and the algorithm took it off. So I literally was like, thank you, Darren. I took my comedy. I took out all the unnecessary words. I took out all the laughter. Because you think like, oh, you need the laughter. Like that's how they know it's funny. No, they know it's funny.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. So I just dawned on me. Took the laughter out, crunched it together, looked at Matt Rife, made sure it was the same. and then I literally posted it, and it was, it took off. And it was at 1 million in like 24 hours.
You listen to that, Magnus?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, it's just that, tightening it up.
Because we're making reels and stuff from the show. Yeah. So, we're trying to, there's some that do well, then some that don't do as well. And it's just.
Yeah. And it's hard because this is a very laid back sort of casual. So that is tricky to kind of get that into these snippets. But I'm just kind of figuring out that stuff. But we did a lot of YouTube. We do a lot of commercial shoots for clients. And so we're used to that. But TikTok's something new I'm kind of figuring out. It's interesting.
Yes, man. The algorithms are so crazy too, because it's really based on the person too.
Yeah.
But then
and who your audience is now that you've collected them.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of doing comedy, but what's working is this social justice revenge porn. And so I'm like,
my favorite.
So I try to do something funny, and they're like, nah. And I'm like, I gotta get Greg and do a video. That's what they want.
Everybody's got to be back to do a corner. Why can't we just do everything?
Just show up to random town halls for school board meetings and just go
and start lying now. Like you told the truth already. Now you can lie.
Yeah, he plagiarized. Got him. End of video. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where I go with that, but it's fun.
That's awesome. That's a cool story.
it could be something, the F around and find out. I'm thinking it could be like I find the underdogs that win, you know, and just real quick commentary, like check this out. I don't know. We'll see.
So the F around and come out and find, or F around and find out, that was, you originated that one?
No.
Oh, okay. I was fixing to say, I was like, golly,
no.
That thing's hugely popular.
No, it's all over. Yeah. I'm not trademarking it or anything.
It's great.
Yeah.
Just trying to sell some merch, bro.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if I did pretend like it was mine, just the irony of it.
Then you'd be like, oh, he plays around.
Exactly.
So we're basically, we're going to say you actually did. Yeah. So this whole thing we're editing out, and then we're going to say you did it.
Yeah. You want to do another take?
Yeah.
So I invented fuck around and find out.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
He looked at the camera and said it was true.
That is awesome.
My original. I was the first one to say it.
That is really good.
I was wondering if that little R meant by the shirt.
Yeah.
You trademarked.
Yep. Yeah. All of it.
Yeah.
So
it's such a small world.
I know.
God.
So many things lining up in this interview. It's bizarre.
In little old Katie.
Yeah.
Dude, this is gonna be so good. Oh, that's gonna be good. We're gonna make so many reels out of that right there.
That's hilarious.
You invented fuck around and find out.
100%. Yep.
And then we made it popular.
Yeah. I love it.
It's awesome.
Oh man. I guess I don't want to interrupt you earlier, but going back to you saying you booked a date.
Yeah.
All right now. So that's kind of how we started this podcast.
I love it.
We're like, we can't. I've been wanting to start a podcast, and then one day I was telling him, I was like, man, I want to start a podcast. He's like, I'd be down to do it. I'm like, all right. If we start just bullshitting about it, he was like, oh, we could name it. I don't know. Then we'd kick things back around.
I love the name.
And then finally, he was like, all right, dude, we got to put a date down.
Yeah.
And say we're going to be on air by this date. I'm like, all right. So we put a date down. We're like,
now we need lights.
I'm like, crap.
Now we need microphones. All of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we put a date down. We're like, all right,
July
crap,
24th.
It's getting close.
Love
so
it.
we bought another set. We bought a set of mics, and we sat in my upstairs bedroom because it was quiet.
Yeah.
And sat around like a guest bed and just
I love it.
talked, and we did a little teaser. And then we're like, hey, get ready. Next week, we're going to start putting out episodes every week. We're like, oh, shit. So, and we've been doing it every week since.
How fulfilling
July
is it to
24th.
create something of your own?
Oh,
It's original.
it's unreal.
It's the best.
And it's so not me. Like
Really?
the creative portion of electronics and all this. None of that's me. I had no social media until
So I do all the social
26
media.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
You
I
had
was
to.
I was lost. You couldn't find my dissertation online. None of that
None
stuff.
of that. Yeah.
And
Smart.
that part has gone to where now I look at stuff and I'm like, I've learned so much from week one to what it is now of how impactful the social media goes. Like he does all the posting.
Totally.
and stuff.
Luckily, I did it for years from the show, and then we have a following, so we're always trying to keep up, put content out. So that helped. And then I have a good thing I have a blue check that helps some validity of you message somebody like, oh shit, he's somebody, and then you kind of it helps. So I've reached out to a ton of people. I've got a lot of like hell. Last week we had the semi-stupid guy. I don't know if you've seen him.
Yeah, I listened to that episode.
He's a super cool dude. His
So
videos are funny, man.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
And so
I saw the Varsity Blues one.
yeah, that's a great one. So those are so good. But so I've had people that I've interacted with that I wouldn't have got to before.
Totally.
So now I'm just using that. Like
opens doors.
So we have a following.
Yeah.
So we kind of just
how fun is that?
we took advantage. Yeah.
It's so fun.
It's not hard.
Dude,
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so man, luckily we had a lot of people that helped us out. Like my brother-in-law won. Adam is like digital media. I mean, he's got a YouTube channel that's crazy followers, but he makes studio quality content for his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And Magnus can tell you, he's seen it. I mean, dude, so we already started, like I said, hey, we started a podcast. He goes, oh, really? I said, yeah, I need your help with it. I was like, what'd you need? Well, here's my first episode. I need your help produce it. I need you to make this, and this. And he did it like that quick.
Yeah.
So we're like, we pretty much started out looking and professional. We had that Step Brothers pick.
Of course.
We had we had it produced sounding good. And then we've met people along the way that helped. They had the Bison injury guys. They helped making stuff happen. And
it shows how much effort you're putting into it. So when someone gets pitched by you, they're like, "Oh, these guys are for real."
Yeah.
They have all the signals.
And so then we met.
It speeds things up.
Magnus. Yeah, I met Magnus through my brother-in-law, and he's doing so he's on helping us doing video and helping us out and producing the show. So we've done we've been like saying using your resources.
Yeah,
like we've done a lot of that.
Just the people you know.
Yeah, and it's just.
I feel like when you kind of stick your neck out there and do something original and for yourself that's uniquely you, people want to help.
Yeah.
Well, I've noticed that with my comedy. I mean, my friends, family, I mean, people I don't even, like acquaintances of mine are like coming to shows, you know, like they want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
Just give them an opportunity to help and they're there. It's kind of cool.
So we've been lucky with that, man. And that's it's been fun. Like I said, we're just trying to make it better and trying to get something that kind of they'll take off, you know. The good thing is we've done 28.
29? 28.
No, this will be 28. We've had 26 episodes published so far.
Yeah.
Have over like 50-something thousand downloads. And like,
I love it.
It's like, so it's been good, man. Like it can only get better. And we're getting better each week. Just trying to, like, we don't script anything. Like you asked me, I was like, dude, it's just going to be. Like when we have guests, like even between and him, we just kind of.
I think it's great that way.
Bro talk and figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
And then kind of just have fun with it. So.
That's good.
Yeah, that's why we can relate to that. Put a date down because that's what made it real. So where do you see yourself in the next couple of years with comedy?
I got a mosquito. So I'm doing my first feature this Saturday. That's 15 minutes of material.
Oh wow. That's the Navasota show.
That's the Navasota show.
What's the show called? What is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say?
I'm not allowed to say.
Okay.
Great save.
All right, well, I
forget what it's at. The location. It's anyway. It's at a great rooftop bar in Navasota.
Where's Navasota?
Northwest,
south of Dallas.
Ivas, yeah. It's like an hour.
Can you
from
say
Katy.
it if we don't publish this until afterwards?
No, I forgot it. I was just using you as a save. I forgot the name of it. But you were like, "Can you not say it?" I was like, "No, I cannot say it."
My bad.
But Nick Morrison is headlining. I
We
know
can cut that.
I don't care. If it's funny, keep it. Yeah. So
It's very secret.
it's a very exclusive.
Yeah.
Invite only.
Yeah. I got
On
it.
a rooftop bar. But so that should be fun. So part of me is just growing my material. I got to get to 45, 50 minutes of material. Which it's interesting how like that first 5 took me, you know, like to a 5 I'm proud of, not the first open mic, but a 5 that I was proud of took me like a year, you know, and then I did this. It's interesting. So as far as the writing process and like learning to tap into my subconscious and a lot of like strategies that I've learned through books is to write out stories from your life and then table it for 24 hours and come back to it. So let your subconscious kind of chew on it as you sleep, whatever. It's like this background problem solver. And then when you look at it 24 hours later, and this is like Scorsese swears by this. It's The Artist's Way. It's a book by, I forget who. And a lot of people in entertainment use it, but all of a sudden, when you go look back at those notes you had, you just ask yourself, what's funny about this? And all of a sudden you start breaking
picking
out.
words.
Yeah, because your brain has sort of been building and remembering all these events, and you start to pull out significance. And I'm telling you, that's when my writing started to explode. But so one quick story. I remember when I first saw like a local comedian perform at Houston Improv, and I was sitting there looking up at him, and I was like, man, like he is so far from me. Because me and my brothers had always talked about doing an open mic, but it was like terrifying. Like we never did it for 3 years, you know? And I looked at this guy, I was like, man, he's just a normal guy. He was a friend of a friend at Houston Improv. And I just couldn't even imagine the steps between me and him. All the same things, like I was so off the cuff, like this is magic. A year and a half later, I'm in a comedy contest with this guy, that same guy. And we tied for third place. And it was just a weird moment in my brain. Like, what?
Like he's ahead of me.
Yeah. And, it's the crowd. And obviously I brought a huge crowd. I was hitting up singles groups. I was crushing the promotions.
You had the most family there.
Yeah, exactly. Mormon. So, it's called...
The Latter-day Saints are all there.
Yeah. So, but it's this weird moment where it was 10 minutes of material. And I added a joke that day to make 10. That's all I had was 10. And I got third place, but we tied. So they did another round.
You're like,
I don't have any more
You don't have any more material.
And like my whole body was I was just like, oh, this is not going to be great. And so I went up first, and I go up there, and as I'm walking up there, I just remembered that panic setting in, and I just pushed it away. And I got up to the mic and I said, all right, I have 10 minutes of material and you guys have heard all 10 of it. So this is going to be a very uncomfortable 3 minutes for the both of us. And like it killed. And then all of a sudden, like, I remembered a joke that I'd thrown away and another joke that I'd thrown away. So I was just telling these like
that's the
jokes.
fight or flight thing.
Because I didn't freak out, and they were like served up to me that I hadn't done in like 6 months. And the reason I gave up on the jokes was because the comedians weren't laughing at it, but they killed in this room.
Yeah.
And that was like the moment I realized I need to let an idea or a joke have its proper audience.
Well, it would be tougher to make a comedian laugh because they're analyzing that joke.
Correct. Or they're just having a bad day. I mean, there's like, I don't want to say which one, but there's one open mic that everyone's just like, it's the worst.
Okay.
You just go in there and everyone's depressed.
We need to do that one first.
For sure. That was probably one of my worst open mics.
So we talked about like when we drove home that night.
Dare you guys to do it.
We drove home that night. I was like, we need to have maybe a Dale NotDale like an event.
Okay.
So with you,
for sure.
Dale NotDale podcast, like
presents.
You guys host. Do a few minutes up top.
So we just
call up the comedians, and if you feel it, go for it.
We can do like a little tandem. Like, so we just recently did that for my sister-in-law, who's got a boutique. So we did the MC for her fashion show.
Awesome.
It was fun, man. We had a good time, dude. We wore some. Have a guy in Houston. He makes custom blazers. I think he made our custom blazers for us. So we were decked out, but that was fun. But I was thinking something we could do.
It's a good promo.
To use the name and just try to maybe get something get a venue and have something with friends. And we got plenty of people around here
for sure
that we could get involved. And man, we need to talk about that offline. I think
for sure.
That'd be awesome.
I'll be happy to help with the comedians.
Yeah, like I said, you could help something with that. We could put something together, do some kind of charity thing with it.
Totally.
Get the guys paid.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
I mean, it'll be hard to find somebody that's funnier than us, but it's totally okay. I'm not gonna.
I know 300 comedians in Houston. I think maybe we might be able to find a couple guys.
Yeah, there's probably a few out there.
Yeah,
but no, that would be cool. I think that
I'm gonna go up first and tell your joke like half to me. The KD ISD one. I was gonna say League City ISD.
I feel like stealing that joke is appropriate. I feel like.
I have a son.
I think it's open.
Yeah, close enough.
I think it's open to that.
Yeah, I think it begs to be stolen.
So I got this great plagiarism joke.
Yeah,
I stole from a friend.
Yeah.
So can I tell you about my deaf girlfriend?
Yeah. Hey, man. It's your show.
So one thing you said at the show, that's why I've been trying to think of something I was going to ask you. You brought up the show that you were on a show, an NBC, that Fame show.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's what Joey Fatone was.
Joey Fatone. Yeah. He's super cool. Yeah.
I met him in the Miami airport.
Okay. Yeah. I grew up listening to NSYNC.
Dude,
I was a huge fan.
Me too.
So, a friend of mine asked me to come out, help like hang out with her while she auditioned for this show called Fame. And I went out with her. She was hot. And so we drove out to California and we auditioned, and I was just kind of there hanging out. I had like a Dare hat on. Like I was not trying hard, you know? And just like a holes in my shirt. I was just, anyway.
It was 03, dude. I mean.
Yeah. And so I auditioned, and they auditioned like thousands of people across the U.S., and I was one of 24 finalists on the show.
That's awesome.
So I'm up there with like Debbie Allen, Felicia Rashad's sister. Debbie Allen was like from the original Fame TV show in the 90s.
Yep.
And I'm at her studio doing these dances, and it was a dancing singing competition. And so
it was like a triple threat show, right?
Yeah, triple threat challenge.
Okay.
Yeah,
I remember the show because I remember
Joey was on it. Yeah. And so
it was like a
cool,
theater setting.
Yeah, that was it. And like Justin Timberlake came by, and I just about died.
Dude, I love him.
Came by to say hi to Joey. And
so when I met Joey, I was in Miami for the Jay-Z Justin Timberlake show. He did 7 shows. We went to the one in Miami. Me and my wife went, and that was incredible.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
So cool. And I saw them live when I was a kid at probably, I don't know, Compact Center or something.
Compact Center.
Way back then, yeah.
Dude, that's what I've talked about that before. Dude, I've seen NSYNC 4 times.
Yeah.
And I've seen Justin Timberlake 4 times.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just unreal.
Yeah, we went up to New York to see Jesse. Like, everyone on the cast stays in touch. We have ever since. And Joey was on Broadway for the first time. It was like debut, and so we went up there to support him. And then afterwards, he took us all to Club Suede, and Justin's there. Like, I was an 18-year-old hanging out with Justin and Joey. It was like blew my mind. Like unbelievable.
So how old
experience.
Are you?
I'm 38.
Okay, so I'm 39. So
this is like 2003 when I was on the show, but it was interesting. I came back home. It was like on a TV show, 24 million viewers. Came back home. Next day, I'm at Super Salad. Back at my job. And,
Super Salad.
Yeah. And he was like, marinara or,
My brother-in-law, Nick, that's his favorite place to eat. I'm like, dude, you got to find somewhere better than Super Salad, man.
I like serving. And then like some kid's like, you were on Fame. And I was like, yeah. And then like literally 7 days later. So I would get recognized in Katy every day for 7 days. On day 8, silence.
Oh,
it was just this weird, like people like get obsessed with it and they need to get it back. It's this very short attention span. It's probably shorter now with so much.
There's so much content.
To remember a face. So it was just interesting feeling that like that drop off. It was kind of an interesting thing to experience. But it was cool, and I left it realizing that I wanted to be on the business side and really hone my business understanding, because the talent, you're just at the mercy of the whims of whoever.
Yeah. The ebbs and flow of what's hot, what's not. I mean, there's a lot of
luck plays into it, I'm sure, too.
Sure.
Just getting in front.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But it was fun.
Full Fame. Yeah, so dude, I was a big boy band guy. Jesus.
Oh yeah, me too.
Big time. I still listen to them. So
yeah. It's been a minute, but
I guess we could do. We haven't had somebody live in a while besides people we've known. We need to do the. So we're that's why the show kind of got started. We're the doppelgangers. That's how we got introduced to each other through mutual friends. Hey man,
you should hang out. You look alike.
Y'all resemble each other.
Yeah,
y'all resemble each other. Y'all need to meet each other. So we're like, we finally met, and
blind
then it was blind date. It was like, I love you, man.
Yeah,
first sight.
Yeah, we hooked up first night, and then. But yeah, so that's what kind of that's how that happened. And people know me from my social media from the show.
Yeah.
And so they'd see him like, you Dale? He's like, no, I'm not Dale. Yeah. So that's how that started. We went to Puerto Rico 2 years ago, and he made shirts that said #Dale, #NotDale, what we wore.
I love it.
And that's what kind of sparked it, I think.
We never thought the podcast was going to be named that.
No.
Because we tried to find a name, and then finally I was like, it's really hard to name a podcast.
Right in front of us.
Dale, not Dale. Oh, okay.
I love it.
That'll work.
Yeah, it's worked.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we need to do a Who's Your Not You.
Yeah, so we always do like the Who's Your. I got one. It came to me earlier.
Yeah.
Who's your doppelganger? Celebrity doppelganger.
So
did you hear
recently from my 2 viral videos, it has become abundantly clear from at least 50 or 60 people that I am the mixture of Brad Pitt and what's his name? Ace Ventura.
Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey.
Okay.
The Jim Carrey, Brad Pitt has been like the common. And
you make a joke about one person you look like too.
Oh, I I am aware that I look like the villain from the Incredibles movie.
So that's what I was digging. I was trying to find what you know.
Christopher Titus?
Christopher Titus?
Also, Adam ruins everything. I get that too. What's his name? Adam something. Adam what? Adam Conover.
I was going to say Ashley Parker Angel from O-Town.
Oh.
O-Town. Remember?
Oh, I was thinking it was a girl. Right. I forgot.
I was being for real.
Yeah, no, I'll take that. Yeah.
No, dude. I was like, I didn't want you to have you may have better hair than me. I was like, damn, you got a lot of volume today. My
Yeah,
hair's
you
so
get
big.
divorced, you start to work on things.
Yeah, that's one of your jokes I heard too.
Yeah. Down to 2 wives. Yeah.
No, the highlights.
Oh, you got.
Tell
Oh,
that one.
online. I was like, yeah. What did I say? I forget.
You see a guy with blonde highlights?
I was like, what is that joke? Gosh, they just come and go.
Oh, it was funny.
It was hilarious. Did you want to cut it in later? No.
Well, you said
We'll find it.
You said you got some blonde.
Oh, I'm a 38-year-old with highlights. So I'm either gay or recently divorced. It's the truth. Yeah.
Did you start doing a lot of selfie pictures when you got divorced? There's a lot of guys that I've known that have, and
Oh man.
they get on that.
Pre-trial, you try not to take a lot of put a lot of evidence out there. You kind of lock up and close down social media, but yeah, I mean, yeah. It was interesting getting back on the dating apps.
I bet.
It was definitely
How long were y'all together?
10 years.
Okay.
Well, 12 all in, but yeah.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, like, dude, me and
Things
my
have changed.
wife been together. In April, we'll be together 21 years. We've been married
Amazing.
15.
Wow.
So it's like we were 19. Now we've been together. So we've been together longer as a couple than
Right.
without each other. So it's
Yeah,
just crazy
yeah.
to think that.
That is wild. Most of your
But like
life,
I couldn't
yeah.
imagine like the dating world now with the social media and like everything's digital. Like it's
Yeah.
just, it's so weird, you know.
I wouldn't be good at it.
Yeah, it's really difficult to tell what people look like.
Oh, I guarantee it.
You go to
You really have to
mormonzombie.com.
like turn and
Yeah.
look and
There's a lot of filters.
I do
when
a
you
lot
see
of
them for
video.
the first time, they don't
the
lose.
worst.
They don't lose weight. I mean, they're always like in the picture. They're always the skinny one, and then you see them in real life, and they're
yeah,
heavier.
yeah.
It's like on Friday. So you look like Freddie Jackson, not Janet Jackson.
Yeah. There's been a lot of so what I started doing was video chatting, like video
There you
chatting
go.
with
Yeah.
them.
Can't filter that.
Like show me your neck.
Yeah. Let me see that yodel woman.
I need to see a profile of the neck. I
Got a picture of your mom. You
I
always
got,
gotta look at the mom.
I
you
got
know?
a bit about the dating apps is I don't know about you guys, but when I'm having sex with someone, it helps me if I close my eyes and imagine I'm having sex with their dating profile picture.
Yeah.
30 pounds lighter, flawless skin, no penis. Very distracting.
Very distracting.
This funny thing is,
We've all been there, right, boys?
that's right.
Am I right?
That's where I like point to like the manliest guy. You know what I'm talking about, bro.
Oh god.
Yes. No, I couldn't do the dating apps right now. That'd be tough.
Dude, I got buddies my age that recently or been through divorces, and
Yeah.
man, it's just it's crazy.
Different world.
It's a different world.
world.
I mean, I was 19, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
a long time ago.
It was like eHarmony when I got married, and now it's like, it's
Bumble, Tinder.
Tinder. That's the
They
one.
got a bunch of them.
Yeah,
Well-
I've found Hinge to be the best
Really?
for anyone out there. Yeah, the least scary.
Hinge is endorsed by Sean.
Yes.
What's going to be the scariest one? That's the one I'd be on.
Tinder can get a little wild.
Vaughn's got a Grindr account.
Dude.
I figured.
Crushing it.
Everybody loves me. I don't even have to take him to dinner. I love it.
Oh man, yeah.
how
There's
you
so
can
many.
promote
There
your
was
show.
plenty of fish. I had a buddy of mine that I used to work with, and he would tell me his weekly plenty of fish stories.
Yeah.
And dude, he had some funny ones. He said he went out with this one chick. She couldn't her right foot. She had no feeling in it, and he would tell me stories about him and her. And one day he was in her room, and her ex-boyfriend was beating on the door. And dude, this guy's very dramatic. So he tells the best. Like he could, if he could just retell his stories, he would go viral, like on social media, because they're just
That actually reminds me.
They're that
of
good.
A situation where my ex-girlfriend, who is deaf, her boyfriend wanted to fight me and he's deaf. And I didn't know what he was saying to me, but it looked really inappropriate. I could just tell it was not
I love that.
polite. You know what I mean?
Like you could feel it, but not understand
I
it.
don't know what you're saying, but I don't like it.
Like you're pissed.
You
Like,
need to stop.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Yeah. No, that's a real situation.
I mean, I've been cussed out in Arabic before, and I don't know what they said, but I know they were pissed.
Oh, you could tell. You could tell.
You could tell.
You could tell.
Feel it.
That's funny.
Oh man, dude, that's wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how you met her on the dating app?
Tinder.
Obviously, Tinder.
Yeah. That was actually the one Tinder date that
She's a very pretty girl when I saw her. Like,
yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Great person. Yeah.
That's cool. So that's wild, man.
Yeah.
This has been entertaining. I'm not gonna lie.
Good.
I'm
Good.
very
No, I've had
excited about
this has been a blast.
I love
Have you done
it.
any podcasts before?
Not this type. Not
No.
in person. It's been mostly like digital marketing stuff. So
Okay.
not fun like this.
Okay.
More technical.
Like I said, that's why I was like, man, we want to meet you, and then
Likewise,
but in person is the best way to do it because especially
Totally.
you can cut up and have more fun with it.
Yeah.
But then it was like, man, we need to really figure out some kind of deal we could potentially do this year.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
It'd be
Little
fun.
comedy showcase
Yeah,
or
man.
something.
We'll
It's
definitely.
right up y'all's alley.
We
You
gotta
guys
stay
are
in
cracking
touch.
jokes anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. We try to.
It's going to be your people. The front row is going to be all your friends and family.
keep
And
them-
then,
yeah.
you know, it's
I'll
going to
have-
be
And
fun.
they'll laugh at us even when we
For
bomb.
sure.
I'll have plenty of people to pick
At
on.
you, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna put nameplates. I'll have certain people that I can pick on up front. It's like the Emmys. you
The
know.
moment, I mean, I think you guys, have you ever sat down and written comedy ever?
No.
Never.
Okay. I'm telling you, the moment you open that door, like Eminem one time, somebody was quoting Eminem saying that he's writing all day. They're like, when are you going to use all that? He's like, no. This isn't for me to use. This is for me to keep the gate open. So he just writes to keep the gate open. So when he needs it, it's there. So the moment you guys open that gate, you might be surprised what comes out. Like the moment you start, like as funny as you are off the cuff, if you just took a moment to like
think about-
wait, time this, slow that, move that here, it's a magic trick. You might dig it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down to do it just to kind of see because I got a lot of stories from growing up that you could
Start there.
I got some funny stuff.
So
especially from school.
I've always thought it's funny.
Tell one.
It's funny you say that. I have a thing in my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make a very long story very short.
Sure.
So my sister has cerebral palsy.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most important people in my life. I love her to death, and
Yeah.
we have the most messed up relationship you could possibly have. She says the most awful things to me, and likewise,
I love
She
it.
she sends me cameos.
oh,
for my birthday.
it's hilarious. And
They're very obscene.
and and we do it. It's a place out of love, but it's
So
one of those
healthy.
things like people don't understand. Like I'll crack
In the wrong
jokes
room.
and, right? And people
Yeah.
don't understand. So I was like, I'm never going to bring that to the podcast. But you mentioned that, and I have a book actually that I wanted to start writing about her that has all of her funny stories
I
in
love
it.
it.
And I just remembered like I could totally put this in a comedy sketch.
Absolutely.
Because her stories
Start
are
there.
hilarious, and she
On
would
their
be the
own.
number one fan.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude, she comments on everything we post on social media, and she's hilarious. man.
she's great.
Yeah. Get the comedy Bible. It's a great start. Like it actually goes into like the theory of comedy, like why things are funny. There's two theories: the theory of surprise and the theory of superiority. Those are the basic two. There's more, but those are the most popular ones. So like when I come out, if I were to come out and be like, I'm aware that I look like Brad Pitt, not funny.
Yeah.
Right? But like you could say, well, he has kind of a look, or Jim Carrey, still not funny. There's nothing funny about that. I say the villain from The Incredibles, it kills.
Yeah.
Because it's putting me down.
Deprecating. Yeah.
And they're laughing at me. And it breaks the tension of like me coming up there and whatever they're perceiving about me, whatever they're assuming about me, I'm on stage, I have the power, I have the microphone. I'm dominant just by default. And the moment I release that and give it up, they laugh.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. And then the other is just surprise, where it's like the premise of the joke is like the scenario, and then the direction, and then the turn.
Yeah.
So you need 2 points to create a line. And that's all you need. You need 1 point to start, a second point to make them think you're going to the third, and then you don't go to the third. That's basically it. So once you start like getting the structure down, you just take a story and you just fit it to the structure, and it's hilarious. It's just it's little tricks. It's so fun.
I'm gonna get canceled if I talk stories about my sister.
I think you need her in every shot that you do it. She has to be in the room.
Oh man, when we're off air, I'll give you a few stories I would talk
Oh,
about.
yeah, they're good. They're great.
But that's where you start, man. Like that would be a good place to start.
Speaking of your cameo of William Hung,
Yeah.
So back maybe 4th episode, we did a DNA test to see if we're related.
Live?
On the podcast.
Kinda. Awesome.
We did it, and so we were like, okay, we can spend $150 to send this off, or I'll pay $165 and have Jerry Springer read our script of what. And so
I love the way you think.
It's on our podcast, and I was like, I called him. I said, hey, I got an idea. And so I was like, all right, we're gonna have him. And so he wrote up the script of what he wanted to say, and then Jerry just ad-libbed the back half of it.
I love it.
I'll play it for you, dude. It is
it's so
gold.
funny.
I had buddies because I clipped out the cameo part like on the YouTube, so it doesn't say.
Oh,
People are like,
for
how
sure.
the hell did you get Jerry Springer
Yeah.
on your show? I'm like, dude, we're a podcast.
We think the same way. When I did my first Houston Improv, I sent it on Cameo to 5 comedians. I sent it to Harlan Williams.
Oh,
Remember Harlan?
Wasn't me, Rocket Man.
Yes.
Great movie.
Harlan Williams. He gave me like a 10-minute like pep talk. And like watched it. He said that if he's ever in Houston, I could open for him.
What?
Like I die. That's my first video on TikTok.
love
Is
him.
him just saying that. I sent it to Roseanne Barr. She never responded, but that would have been
yeah.
interesting. Doug Benson. I sent it to him. He was high in the video and he just blew pot in the camera. I treasure that.
Yeah.
It's on brand. And but yeah, it's funny that you did that. Like and using it for sort of creative ways.
Yeah, dude, it was great because I was like, okay, we can send off the deal, but I was like, man, this would be so much
That's so great.
better.
And then he told us we need to take a stool sample.
Yeah. He's
That's funny.
I'll show the video after this. It's really
Yeah,
funny. He was,
yeah.
but dude, he just went above and beyond what you could have. Like the
Yeah, he's
Harlan
just
Williams
winging
one.
it. Yeah.
Harlan Williams is awesome, man. And Half Baked and freaking
Oh,
Rocket
so
Man.
good.
Rocket Man.
He's
I
such
need,
a
I need
nice
to play
guy.
Rocket Man for my kids because they've never seen that. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's such a, it wasn't me.
You know what? Dale and I were talking about this on. So I love going to the Houston Improv. It's one of my favorite places.
So good.
You know, I don't drink anymore, so I just like to go watch people make me laugh, right?
Yeah.
So why is it in such a bad part of town? That is the thing. Like I'm always, there's always like, I always was thinking like,
Yeah.
how would this do in a different side of town? Like,
I know you're trying to get him to go south. I get it.
yes.
North Galveston.
Yeah, North Galveston. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's been there for so long.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think they were just trying to like pick between, Katy and I don't know, the West Houston side. You have the.
I guess we just need two.
There's a very it's
we
a
need
nice
two
side of
is what I'm
town.
getting at.
Totally.
Like,
we had
could-
Laugh Stop.
Rogan's supposed to open his place in Houston next. You heard about
Shut
that?
up.
So
Yeah. For
Rogan,
real?
he's opened his Austin one, and he said, he's already got talks of open a mimic one in Houston, which would
I
be
love
killer.
it. Have you guys seen Kill Tony?
No,
Yes.
yeah.
So I went to Kill Tony. I didn't get on, but that is one of my next.
Have you seen Uncle Laser?
No.
So so I got 2 buddies that they make some part of my merch. I give out my shirt, but they grew up with this guy, dude. He's like redneck, got the freaking curly mullet. He wears a Charizard diamond crested belt. He's like He's like an oil field worker. Makes probably $500,000. I mean,
Just
half a
being
million dollars a
himself
year.
so hard.
But then
I love it.
he's been on he was just on Kill Tony again the other day, and Rogan's on the board talking to him, and he's cutting
Awesome.
up. I was like, this guy's been blowing up. Like, he's very crude and very
Yeah.
funny.
Do you want his tattoos on his arms?
He's got tattoos everywhere. He's got new neck tattoo.
Okay, I just saw
Dude,
that clip.
I was sending him on
Please
Instagram.
do.
He's really funny, but he's another one that's been blowing up. He's got 115,000 followers already.
Wow.
But he's been on Kill Tony a couple times. Like, he comes out to like Stone Cold music. He wears like a sleeveless Stone Cold jersey,
I love it.
and he's
It's
got-
unique.
And he's got his,
You're gonna remember
he's
him.
got his tight jeans with his boots on. It's
So
funny,
many
man.
comedians,
He's recognized. He's like that
Yeah.
the Chelsea Lynn guy version,
got it.
but he's not a bad, like, he's a good looking guy. So he just got that
He's got a look.
curly nasty mullet. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's really crude too, which is even more up my alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, there's so many funny guys out there. and Instagram's brought a lot of them to your fingertips, which is nice. And TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, that's why.
Well, it's just sort of democratic. I mean,
that's
if people like it at a certain rate, it floats to the top.
I know.
It's a meritocracy.
I've shared that video to a bunch of people.
I appreciate it.
Just because when I first seen it, before I reached out to you, I'm like, dude, this is funny, man. Like, and the way you tell it's just so.
I appreciate it. That's like a year.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's like you hear these jokes and you're like, how did they do that? It took them it's a year of like hearing it and hearing it and hearing it and hearing yourself do it and where people laugh and why do they laugh there? That wasn't a joke. And then you're like, oh, that's why they're laughing there. Lean into that. I mean, it's just this. It's interesting how
you get different emphasis points. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Or inflections.
And you'll get off the stage like it's such a good community. Something you said earlier reminded me with your sister. I remember when I first kind of felt like I was a part of the community of comedians. I was sitting in the green room of The Secret Group, which is a comedy club downtown. I don't know if you guys know about that one. Mm-hmm. That's a good one, a little bit closer to you. And I'm in this room and it's like me, black guy, Hispanic guy, Jewish guy, short person, Clinton Shorter. His last name's really Shorter. A transgender woman. Like it was everyone in this room.
Yeah.
And nothing was off limits. Yeah. Everyone was shitting on everyone for the exact thing that they were. And I just remember sitting there and I was like, oh, this is America. Yeah. Like this is what we should be doing. Like we should just be able to like talk shit and
the media would hate
the most
that.
I know, but in the most loving way.
Right.
You know, like nobody's feelings are getting hurt. Because we're all gonna get up there, and we all understand where we're coming from. It's like we're all gonna get up on stage and pull our pants down. Like we're all about to do this. And it just I don't know, it was just a beautiful, like there's not a lot of ego.
But that's how the real world actually is.
I think so. Among friends and family and
I think for the mass or the silent majority, that's how it really is.
Yeah.
If we could all laugh at everything, it'd be great.
Dude, I laugh at everything. I laugh all day long.
I can't go to funerals because
it's dangerous.
The first thing I do is I start laughing
because you're not supposed to.
Because I'm
like
not
just
supposed
that
to. Because there's something in my brain like I can't cry. I laugh.
Someone in there like I dare you to laugh right now.
And then I'm bawling at a birthday party. I don't get it.
I'm the worst person for anything serious because I try to get people to laugh.
Yeah, I try to break the tension.
I just try to
through it.
I try to get somebody going in the worst time possible.
It's such a fun way to live.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
You know,
I keep everything light.
Yeah.
Every job I've had, like even they're like, dude, how has HR never? I'm like, it's all about time.
I make them laugh.
If you say the right stuff at the right time, everybody's gonna laugh at it.
Yeah.
And it's nothing. You can say anything you want.
Yeah,
with the right authentic people, and it's all about the timing, man.
You know, when so like a life event happens and somebody makes a joke out of it, and the first thing they say is too soon.
Right.
There's no such thing as too soon for me.
Yeah.
It's perfect timing.
Yeah.
Right then.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. The rule on that is like a year. You're supposed to wait a year.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Plane goes down. Let's take a joke.
Let's talk about it. I'm writing a joke about it. Yeah.
What's that structured Sean was telling me about?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. What was it? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, man, this has been fun, dude.
Absolutely, man.
Likewise.
I'm glad you drove the 40-mile hike.
Yeah.
That took you hour and a half, probably.
You guys came to my show, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
That was fun.
It.
Yeah.
I'll go. I'll do that. I could do that Monday through Friday. I love going to that place.
So fun.
Yep. So
it's a great spot.
Yeah, we'll definitely stay in touch. I think we really need to explore this.
Definitely.
Because I think that could be fun. We could get plenty of people involved.
Great content for you guys. I mean, all the TikTok and all the stuff you could pull. I mean,
it's just it'd be something cool to do.
I think it'd be awesome. I think we just need to put a date to it and just have it done by then.
That's exactly how to do it.
Well, then we're
I'm
gonna
gonna sign on for an ultra marathon too.
Yeah,
I've actually I've been in mini marathons.
Have you?
Yeah,
nice.
Like my dad ran by. I waved to him. I had like a friend of mine. He was in one, and I waved to him.
Did you make a sign or?
No, I had a bottle of water.
Okay.
I like the marathon videos. The guy has the glasses of vodka, and they come out and grab it. They shoot it.
Like they don't know it's vodka.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like what if they're in sobriety?
Who gives a shit? It's funny.
It's a risk you take for a TikTok. Okay.
You mean to tell me that sober people run? It's not true.
That is funny.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you.
Like, what are the reactions?
They turn around.
What you would think?
It's like mile one. You just screwed up their whole day.
I like the party, and I wouldn't want to shoot vodka. Much less
Right.
you're hot.
It's like 95 degrees. It's warm ass vodka.
Oh, this is the middle of April. It's in North Dakota. It's fine.
Cheap vodka.
Different. That's
Oh,
different.
God.
That's how the Russians feel year round.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
But no, man. Thanks for coming on. I
Thanks for
completely
having me.
enjoyed it. It was a good
Yeah.
time. This might be one of my favorite podcasts so
Oh,
far.
it's been so fun.
It's definitely the longest one we've done.
Oh, yeah.
So it's fun. Like I said, dude, that's what's fun about being in person. You can just cut up, and
Totally.
that's why we're trying to script stuff. We just wanted to go and flow, and
Yeah.
hearing your stories was funny, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Yep, we appreciate it, man. And I'll let you know when this stuff goes, when we have it scheduled to go on air.
Awesome.
And we'll be tagging you, and Magnus will be making all the reels and shorts. And
Sweet.
yeah, we got a lot of content from it.
I love it. Yeah, let me know. I'll promote it as well.
Yeah, man.
You have your socials? You want to drop your socials? For your Instagram or
Yeah,
anything?
so TikTok is at Dolan Comedy, DOLAN Comedy, and Insta is at the Sean Dolan.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, when we post that, I'll put that in the body of the podcast
Awesome.
and YouTube. So yeah,
Appreciate
so
it.
anything we can do to share your stuff, man, like we'll do it, and hopefully
Thank you.
we'll come across some more comedians with you, and
Oh, for sure.
Put
Tell
some-
me, yeah.
and then
Tell
when
me
we get
what you
Lance on, we'll let you know how that goes.
Lance, look,
Okay.
it's been a while. I've put it past me. I hope that you've put it past you. And, the Dale NotDale podcast can be where we come together and we just shake hands as gentlemen and let bygones be bygones.
And we're gonna have a paper write off.
You do know we're going to edit this and send it to him.
Even better. I love that.
No, I love it. I really, he's a great guy.
Oh, man, that was awesome.
Yep.
All right.
All right, we're done, man. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Uncle Dale and Vaughn with stories to unfold. So sit back, relax, and behold. We discussing life and all its ups and downs. Tune in from your side of town. Talking pop cultures, movies, and TV shows. Giving the thoughts and much more. This shit is style, clothes, and gadgets.